when praying or prophesying in the assembly. We turn toward Holy Jerusalem. We're not praying toward the east like Muslims. We're turning toward Holy Jerusalem as we're instructed. When Daniel was in Babylon, Daniel 6:10, he turned toward Holy Jerusalem 3 times a day. 1 Kings 8 chapter, Solomon said, whether you be carried away near or far, turn toward Holy Jerusalem. So since we in the West, we just turn east. First Tim, chapter 2, verse 8. Hold your hands up, spread apart. Right. No circle prayer. You know what circle prayer do? It may be gumbo. You may be holding your hand with a Muslim. You may be holding your hand with a Satanist. So it's gumbo prayer. It's not, and there's a way to explain it to them. Say, sister, so that I'm sure that the prayer we're praying is not misconstrued, I choose to separate like this. I'm with y'all, but I'm going this way so that, you know, I can't be accountable for what the prayer is being said. So we separate, we hold our hands high. Like a child do his parents, pick me up. That's what we asking the Father, pick me up. So, what'd you say, boy? Make sure the shirt cover your stomach. Well, I'm more concerned with it if you've been over to tie your shoe and more crack is seen than was in Harlem.
You got to reach down a little further.
Let's get it, bro. What we reading from, Ariel?
All right, we're going to get this opening prayer with the Most High's permission. All right, in the name of His only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, locally known as Jesus the Christ. We'll be reading from the book of Psalms in the 62nd chapter. And it reads as follows. Truly, my soul waiteth upon Yah. From him cometh my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of you. As a bowing wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Selah.
Selah.
My soul, wait thou only upon Yah, for my expectation is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation. That's right. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. In Yah is my salvation and my glory. The rock of my strength and my refuge is in Yah. Right. Trust in him at all times, ye people. Pour out your hearts before him. Yah is a refuge for us. Right. Selah.
Selah.
Surely, men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie. To be laid in the balance, they are altogether lighter than vanity. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. Yah hath spoken once, twice have I heard this, that power belongeth unto Yah. Also unto thee, O Yahweh, belongeth mercy. For thou renderest to every man according to his work. Hallelujah! Selah! That's good. Give the glory to Yah, y'all, not to a man.
So y'all, what we had on the board today, y'all, is open-ended questions. So I know a lot of times, y'all, like Uriah just mentioned about the law. You know what I'm saying? That the dietary law, something that we have to revisit on occasion because we get into things that somebody is questioning, well, is that legal? The law never, what y'all have to understand, puts anybody in bondage. The law takes you out of bondage.
That's right.
Especially of your sins. It frees you from sinning, which have you trapped and bound. Anything that have you looking, I can't let nobody see me doing this, you're in bondage. And it's impossible to even have or mention the word sin and say the law don't exist. If you get rid of sin, you got to get rid of the law, because sin is what?
Transgression of the law.
So you can't have one without the other. So any doctrine you hear saying we ain't under law no more, then there's no sinning. So at that point, when the collection plate pass around, put that money in your pocket. It's not stealing. If they say there's no law, it can't be stealing. When it hit my hands, I see the rent money coming. I see the car note coming. What law are they gonna charge you with? What are they gonna say? So y'all, we don't wanna have a child's mindset in these things, but we wanna make sure we express this, y'all, so that you can go teach somebody else and say, at the assembly we attend. Because y'all, we cannot forsake the assembly. And forsaking mean is we get to a point that where we don't care about it no more. You know, and you'll get to the point that where you don't care about your own personal family members like that. If you're saying, I don't go by that no more, man, I can't deal with it. We understand if it got hostile, but that's your test. That's why every 90% of the calls y'all hear come on the radio is about who? Family members. Family disputes, y'all. So you have to, that's why the Most High put up, if you can get along with your family and straighten out your own personal problem, when you move to the next spot and you see something going wrong, you can straighten that out because you done straighten it out at your home. But you can't say, wait a minute. Y'all calm down now, we shouldn't be doing that. And then you pick up the phone, hello? I told you I was gonna get them clothes out the dryer when I got back. Damn it, you could have put the trash out. I call you back. Yes, and see, you don't want to be arguing with one another. It's gonna be a problem, ain't it? They're gonna be looking at it like, what, did you hear her on the other line? Black bastard live down that end. And they hang up, click it. So y'all, I just have to put it where y'all can understand. I don't want to talk over your head. It's a living book. Go ahead. Like
1 Timothy chapter 3, and then we get on into it.
Yeah.
1 Timothy chapter 3.
Let's go there.
I'm in 2 right now.
And y'all, nothing we're doing will point to individual. What we're pointing to is self-correction. We don't point fingers at nobody. We don't have to. We don't throw no rocks and hide our hands.
That's right.
Because you have to understand what you teach. You're teaching from your own perspective of something, because that's what hides a multitude of sin. If you tell somebody not to steal, then you can't be caught stealing. So then there's 2 people that don't steal no more. Let's get it. Where we at?
1 Timothy chapter 3, and I was going here because, like what the brother was talking about, that if you can't get your own house in order, how can you have the house of the body of Christ in order? There's a natural order to the things we do. There's natural order to our existence.
Right.
And we must adhere to that. Even the animals forsake not the natural order.
Right.
We're the only creation that forsakes the natural order.
That's right.
And lean to our own understanding. Shoot, birds haul butt when they know a storm is coming before it even comes.
Right.
They know to bow down.
Right.
My dogs bow down when the storm is coming, man. They get silent.
What we do? Get mad.
We get mad, run outside.
Man, why it gotta rain and I'm supposed to barbecue?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
would chase a storm. Like chasing a killer. You ain't got no gun and the killer got an AK chopper. He running, you chasing him. Come back here.
Right. Or ambulance chasing. Y'all know all the accident on this side of the highway and this bumper to bumper on this side. Why? Because everybody rubbernecking. Go ahead, let's get that, y'all.
Okay. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1.
Everybody there?
We all there? This is a true saying.
Mm-hmm.
If a man desires the office of a bishop,
Right.
he desires a good work, putting in work of the Most High. A bishop then must be blameless.
Must be what?
Blameless.
That don't mean he don't have sin or he's not committed sin. We're talking about blame. Two different things, y'all. Y'all have to understand. Blameless means there's not current fault on him. Well, man, I saw him over there. How he talking that noise? So it can't be current faults. You know, that's blame is different from sin. So y'all understand that it never said he must be sinless. Because if it says that, he's the Messiah then.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
And then it's also dealing with how he deals with the body of Christ.
That's right.
The
That's right.
congregation, the assembly of Christ. Not just in his own personal affairs, because that's none of our business, but how he deals with representing the body of Christ. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach.
Let me say this last too. And when it's saying one, because a bishop role is so powerful, the responsibilities of a wife, if you got so many of them, you can't look after your bishop deal because you have to keep cutting it short. You get a phone call. Okay, I'll be there. Okay, I'll be over there. Okay, I'll be over there. Because you have responsibility. You can't put one off either of the other one. So it says if you're not going to be like Paul or the Messiah and have no wife, then if you want the office of a bishop, you can only have one because it's not going to be put in a position to where a wife will ever be, or you have to say, well, Lord, I was doing your work. I couldn't tend to number 4, 5, 6, and 7.
You put him on the back burner.
You can't put him on the back burner. So he puts a limit on a higher position in the church, which is a bishop. And the first thing, y'all, we don't want y'all to even look at the wife part. We want to look at y'all at the blame part. Blameless. You need to see that before you get down to the wife part.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 3, not given to wine, no striker, not greedy of filthy lucre, money,
Right.
but patient.
But what?
Patient,
Uh-huh.
not a brawler.
Always ready to scrap.
No, not a brawler, not covetous. One that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity.
So ruling his house well don't mean I can shout in order. Get over there and do that. Ruling is you're looking at everything from every aspect. I have to make sure that the rules are followed so our house don't collapse within itself. That's ruling well. It's just not barking out orders. Like you have children, some a math wizard, the other ones you be like, is that a rock sitting on your shoulders or you just stupid? But they're in the same household. So you have to deal with them differently. You have to deal with them, of course, you may have to get a tutor for this one. You may have to, this one you don't have to worry about. Like the story of the prodigal son. The one like dad, I mean, he's like, yeah, but that's your brother. You know, he got that rock sitting on his shoulder. So that's what it's saying, ruling from that point, not just barking orders.
And he's also making sure that everything is taken care of for that household, for the betterment of that household.
Right.
That in any case he's missing, gone, that house is always being taken care of.
Right.
Right.
Go ahead, brothers.
Verse 5.
Uh-huh.
For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of Yahweh.
See, so that's letting you know, y'all, it's letting you know that we got a bunch of people down here that got total different lifestyles.
Mhm.
We got some people down here that make money like this, and we got some that is tough.
It's rough out there.
So you can't rule from this perspective, because then it turns your mind to, I'm just dealing with him because he got that.
Mhm.
Your focus first has to be on this one down here.
That's right.
Because if this one don't come up to speed, or if this one on the low end is not fully equipped, then it's going to destroy this one up here. That's what's going to happen. So we tend to the needs of the needy first. This is already, we can deal with that, but this has to be addressed. And so likewise in the church, y'all, we all totally different people, y'all. And we have different lifestyles at home, not saying what we like. If I don't like to watch football, that don't mean you can't watch football.
Mhm.
You just can't be, you can be a fan, you just can't be a fanatic. A fanatic means I'll put the house note money on the Colts.
On the coach?
Yeah. And you know they ain't won a Super Bowl. And
That is a fanatic. So that's how dog-
see, you just believe so bad because you wearing their jersey and they hat. And they got all of their starters on the bench, and you still gonna put the house note money up. You're a fanatic. You can be a fan and watch different things, and you can go to the movies. Nothing keeps you off limit, because we had the example of Lot living in Sodom and Gomorrah. Y'all think this Sodom and Gomorrah, now this can't even compare yet. Until you understand Jasher, the 19th chapter, on what was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. And Lot was right there and never lost his integrity. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Never lost his integrity. And it was surrounded with it. You got to be to the point that the Most High say, I send you out as sheep among wolves.
Mhm.
So he's saying get strengthened up, because they're going to be coming biting at you.
Gird up your loins.
Gird them up. Go ahead, Elijah.
Verse 6.
Not
Not a novice.
a what?
Novice.
Any of y'all know anything about boxing? You start as a novice, and then you move to open, then to the amateurs, and then the what? You're a pro. So a bishop can't be a novice. You can't be sitting up like you know how to rule, and then somebody say something to you, be like, I ain't never thought about that like that. You're a novice in a bishop position. Right. You have to be like this and say, you know what? The wise thing is, let me double check on that. I'll get right back to you.
Right.
And you must get back with them.
Got to.
You got to get back with them, because don't no man know all of this. There's rules that call get back to you. And that means go in your closet. Lord, this question was asked. I don't want to defame your word. I don't want it to turn into that's what I see. Help me with this understanding. And scripture's going to pop in your mind. Go to these right here. And you be like, there it is. There it is. There it is. And you get back and you express that. And you keep going. Go ahead, bro. Not a novice.
Not a novice.
Uh-huh.
Lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into condemnation of the devil. Moreover, he must have a good report of them which are without.
A good report of them which are without. Do y'all know what without mean? No. Outside of the covenant. Outside of what we're teaching. Somebody that's looking at you and they say they got the light. See, outsiders of good report is people that ain't even in this walk. You know what? It's people that lead that ain't even in this walk that will lead somebody else to you.
Right.
Bro, I hear what you're saying. You know what? There's some people be down at that Sirius building on Saturday. You may want to go down there. See, that's a good report of somebody out.
Right.
That's how we met Sister Deborah, or y'all call her Mother Deborah, and Brother Barabbas. A Muslim told them about us. They're like, I hear what you're saying. It's some boys be on the radio on that Onion Hard and Mark Kaysen show. You may, they got their own show and say, you may want to go listen to them. And ever since then, y'all, And they the ones who donated that first building. But that was somebody that was without, pointed him to us. And see, y'all, how you gonna throw stones at somebody that points you to a direction? He was like, you don't want to get in this, what I'm into. Oh, yeah, I'm a bean pie seller, so you may not like this. Right, so them down there is what you're looking for. So you'll always see without, and most of the time, the Most High say, don't worry about without, I'll judge without. I want y'all to take care of within. I want y'all to take care of what's happening within your own house. Let me handle without. But without has a good report, like Cornelius. He was of good report with who?
The Jews.
All the Jews, every nation around about. He was of good report. They had word about him. What's up, Uzziah? Speak a little loud, bro.
Speaking of the good report,
Uh-huh.
it was Job or Gentile?
Well, when you get into things like that, was Job a Gentile, you have to look at the scriptures at hand so that you don't make a false accusation. There was two Jobs that's mentioned. It's not so much, it's the land of Uz. Is I'm pronouncing that right? Use Uz.
Yep.
Now there's a Uz before Abraham, and there's one after. The one after is Esau. The Uz after. Now, every one of Job's friends are the same exact friends that mentioned in Genesis 36. Eliphaz the Teemite. These are Job's sons. These are Esau's son, and they're Job's best friends. That don't mean that makes Job an Edomite. It's just he's surrounded by certain individuals. But even if he was, guess what the Lord started off? When the devil said, you talking about who? My who? My servant Job. So whether he was an Israelite or not, the Lord said he was a servant. So at that point, I don't have to wonder. I don't have to go into detail, because making him an Israelite or not making him an Israelite, the Most High said, he's my servant. Now, all we need is some Israelites, because he did nothing no Israelites done. It ain't on Job's record. Job was attacked because the devil wanted him, not because he was a law-breaking individual like us Israelites.
It wasn't too much of fact. Like I heard, who is a Jew or a Gentile?
Right. You just kind of want to know, and a lot of people do that.
You know, like when you start talking about like different tribes and stuff, like it always named who the person was and who his name comes from.
Right.
But see, also in the book of Job, in the Vigilon, it says that the angel of the Lord came and talked with Job. The angel of the Lord don't come talk to Gentiles.
Right.
Directly with a direct message. It showed up to Job and talked to him directly and gave him a prophecy. Because Job lived by idol church where they had idol worship. Job wanted to destroy it. And so the angel told him, say, if you go and destroy it, there will be 20 years of plagues added unto you. However, you're going to come out with double of what you had before.
Right. And
so in order to receive that prophecy, unlike Cornelius or the story in Acts 10, you know, where the devout centurion had to seek the knowledge of Peter.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because the angel didn't appear to him, it appeared to Peter. All right, and gave him instructions. You know, through a prophecy, through his vision, he was sent.
Right.
And but the angel didn't directly talk to him, give him instruction. He gave it to the Israelite.
That's right.
He's the light until the Gentile. So it's a natural order in everything that the Most High does. So from that perspective, you have to ask, well, if he's a Gentile, why is the angel of the Most High coming talking to him directly? You know. So a lot of times, you know, their nationality may not be mentioned because it's not about the nationality.
Right.
It's about the spirit of faith and obedience. Okay.
Who has up? And y'all, and look, like what he's saying also, Esau, then you have the 12 tribes. Before that, you know, because Adam through Abraham, what race were they? I mean, we didn't have the Hebrew race start until Eber. So you got Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And like he's saying, but when the chosen race is down, the message will come through them. To them are given the covenants, the laws, statutes, and judgments. Now, servants who do the work of the Lord, like he told the Israelite, when the Roman soldier said, just say the word and I believe my daughter healed. He looked at all them Israelites. He said, I ain't found faith like this in Israel yet. I ain't found faith like this in Israel yet, that where you just say, Lord, do it. Your word is bond. That didn't mean he was opening the door for them. He's just telling you, look, outsiders got more faith than the insiders. So what is the Lord to do with that? Do he say, no, I can't say that because he's a Gentile? No, it don't change. That's why in the Romans 2:9, not to cut you off, Elijah, it said, there's no respect of person. Then it jumped right to Romans 3:1 and say, so what advantage then hath the Jew? Right. Every way much every way. Chiefly they were given the oracles of God. So that ain't gonna never change. But servants of other nations could come in because Cyrus would call his servant. See, servant don't mean exactly like say you've been given a law given. You just heard the law and you like, that's good for me. I can stick with that. Who got a question?
Wholeheartedly joined into it, and
a wild olive branch.
A wild olive branch.
What you got, bro? Speak a little bit louder.
Did Ishmael tell Isaac, I know the law as well?
Well, he knew the law, right? So that's not Shem, Ham, and Japheth knew the law. Noah taught them the law. But he passed the baton to Shem. So there's always going to be a baton pass. The instruction was it has to go through Shem. So here you get the baton. Just like in Genesis 49, out of all the 12 tribes, the fourth tribe, Judah, it said, you get the baton until Shiloh comes. You run the other 11 tribes. Right. You the big brother. Right. You the big brother. Right. That's why we scattered Judah in the four corners of the earth, that they're around all the other 10, 11 tribes. They are right there to instruct little brother. Isaiah 6 chapter, Isaiah 9, talks about, and the tribes of Judah and Cush in the four corners of the earth, Judah be gathered from the four corners. Well, the 10 tribes are scattered to those four corners. So we there to protect and to instruct them because Judah was given the scepter. The law, the righteousness went through them. Why? Because Reuben slept with his father's wife, with Jacob's concubine, Bilhah. He was the first MF in Israel in the 12 tribes. And I mean, mother for unlawful carnal knowledger. What them short legs at? F-U-C-K is always in capital letters. For unlawful carnal knowledge. And knowledge meaning sexual intercourse or bringing into the know. So when you're a mother for unlawful carnal knowledger,
you uncover the father's neck.
You uncover your father's nakedness. So he lost the birthright. And then Simeon and Levi plotted a covenant against Jacob to kill Shechem and the Hamites. It was already ordered, but they decided we're going to do it on our own. So they lost to them too. And now here is Judah standing right there, which the promise is already going through Judah. The Messiah going to come out of there. So y'all, and then you going down with the rest of the tribes' blessings. So y'all have to understand who gets the baton. And this is why I'm saying St. Louis got the baton. It's not that ain't nobody else in the world. Atlanta is popping. Kansas City popping. Ohio is popping. And everybody else, but it's been through New York. And they still popping. It's been through Chicago. Some of them still popping. But when you see where the light is at, it just happened to be on St. Louis right now. So whoever we hand it off to, we're just trying not to hand it with stain and wrinkle. That's all we trying to do, y'all, because we got it with a little bit of stain on it. We ain't gonna pass the same thing we got. Who had something over there?
I was just going to say something to Dre about with Ishmael and Isaac. I read in the lost books. I don't have them with me to give you the exact chapter and verses, but it was the time when Ishmael had told Isaac, "You think you special?"
Right.
And he pulled up his skirt and showed him, "I'm circumcised too."
Right.
So the fact is that when I first read that, I got that understanding because
Jasher 21.
claimed that Ishmael is the father of the Muslims, but Ishmael,
No.
Ishmael, we don't have commandments, statutes, judgments, and laws.
Right.
They went off 600 years after the Messiah and started that crap.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Ishmael was never taught the Quran.
Never. It didn't even exist.
It didn't even exist.
His
Right.
grandson came up with it or something like
Great
that. Great grandson.
Right. So y'all, when y'all understand these things, the Most High, everybody, because there's some called, I'm gonna get you, Tonio. It's some called the day of the Feast of Tabernacles, where all nations have to come up to Jerusalem and acknowledge, or they get no due rain. So if you don't come up and get your instructions and your laws and keep them, you don't get no rain. No rain, no what? No crops. No crops, no what? No food.
No food, no sleep.
No water, and you got Kool-Aid, what you got? Okay.
No water, no Kool-Aid.
I mean, you got Kool-Aid, no water, what you got? You can't make Kool-Aid with milk. Keep spitting in it, it ain't gonna work. What you got back there, Tonio?
He was trying to get you right.
Oh, okay, bro. All right. So y'all, we don't want to belabor the points, y'all. We're just trying to let y'all understand certain things about life. Y'all, we got to live this life, y'all. We got to die trying to keep the commandments, y'all. If we don't, you wasting your time. You just spinning your wheel. Where we at? You finished that verse?
Yeah.
Okay. You good, Dre? Okay. Yeah.
But one last question. Throughout the book, just open the book, how many people was referred to by the Most High as his servant? I know he called Job his servant.
Right.
Servant Job. Abraham was referred to by Abraham was his friend.
Right. Noah.
Noah. So we got two servants, Noah and Job, mentioned specifically by the Most High as his servant.
And he called Abraham a servant as well. It's just in other places. See, you become a servant first and then you become a friend. Eliezer was Abraham's servant, but it was his friend. And I'm telling you, it was his friend so much that he thought when the angel came to him with the promise, he thought Eliezer was the one. He said, so is Eliezer? He like, no, it's going to be come out of your loins. He like, what? But Eliezer was such a friend, he sent him to go get Isaac's wives, loaded with cash. The bracelet he gave Rebecca weighed so many shekels, 17 shekels of gold. Gave his mama, his brother, silken garments. The whole nine, he sent him with that, and he told him, I can't leave her. My master told me not to leave her without his bride. If she don't go, y'all need to renegotiate this, because I made an oath with
Put his hand
Abraham under his thigh. When you get into this jazz, yeah.
Do this.
Yeah, what we should do like this? Yeah, you gonna do it? That's an oath. See, that's the same oath David and Jonathan made when Jonathan knew, I'm going to die because of what my father's doing to you. But if you do this for me, I know I have to die, but I know I ain't going to where my father going, because I'm trying not to let your light be extinguished, David, because the Messiah is coming out of your offspring. They made a covenant about Jonathan's grandson. Jonathan's son, Saul's grandson, was handicapped. He said, when the order come for us, please spare him. And David took care of him for the rest of his life. Now the order came down from the Lord to kill the whole household. So why wasn't David punished for that? Because it was a righteous covenant that they made, that he said, I'm protecting you from my dad. I'm gonna tell you when my daddy gonna put the hit on you. And he said, all I'm asking for in return, is to take care of that boy. That boy handicapped. He fell off a wall and broke his ankle, and he had to have that shoe. Y'all know that build up shoe? Yeah. They had that built up sandal. Yeah. So you have to understand that covenant, and they had another covenant that they made with each other. These covenants are binding with individuals, and the Lord will say, y'all go ahead with that. I got your back if it's righteous. And the Lord did not punish David for not wiping off the entire house of Saul, like he got Saul for not wiping off the entire Amalek, and from where Haman came from, who later tried to kill all of us when we was in Persia with Esther. So he was responsible. He left them alive.
He left their residue alive, and they came back.
And he came back to haunt us.
Like the same flavor when Pharaoh's daughter took care of Moses, somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, not really, because what she did is she saw him and she just took favor to him. The Lord put favor on her to grab Moses out and raise him as her own son.
Right. But when the plagues hit, she went back and said, "How could you do this to what happened to my people?" He said, "Hold on now, which plague hit you?"
Right, absolutely.
One got you now.
Thank you, sir. But see, I had to break that on down to get it clear what the situation was, and we can read that. So just like Rahab the harlot, when Joshua and Caleb went in there, she said, "Will you save my whole household?" Her whole household came out and was spared, even though the Lord say hit them all. But they did a good work for us. I know why you here. I know you here to kill everybody. And when he said there should not be a man that pisseth against the wall, do you understand what that means? It's why urinals are in men's bathroom and toilets are in women's bathroom. If you see a woman standing at a urinal, that's going to be a problem. She's pissing against the wall.
Then backing off of Job.
Yeah.
No, he never took anybody of another nation, but he took Job. Losing everything. All the family with the sons and all that.
Strip them down and then rebuild them all.
And rebuild them back.
He never took another nation, anybody from another nation, but somebody out of Israel.
But see, then again, if we say run his lineage, and Job, who was the son of such and such, who was the son of such and such, who was the son of Isaac, it ain't in there. So we have to just keep him as a servant. And we'll find out what Job's lineage was. When people ask, was he Edomite? Look at his best friends, who kind of hang around each other. But that still ain't enough to say, okay, he's Esau. That's still not enough to say that. All you're saying is his best friends happen to be in the same line of Genesis 36. Right. The exact friends, the exact name. So that lets us know it's the land of Uz after Esau versus the land of Uz that was around with Abraham and before him.
But Israel had traveled the world, the globe, and resided in every part of the world. So, I mean, it's just like if you take an Israelite that grew up in the country, in the county, and all his neighbors are Edomites, then who's going to be his friends naturally?
Absolutely.
That he grew up with.
Right.
It ain't going to be Israel.
Right.
Israel is all the way down in the projects and everything, and he's out here in the suburbs. That's not who he's raised with and going to school with. You see what I'm saying?
So y'all have to understand, leave it at servant, and then you won't have to get into these arguments or different things. Those arguments come from those people who only want this book to be about Israel and no other nation. That's where you get that from, where they started saying, who can't serve the Lord? Right. Now, I'm not going to go against the Lord when he say, Job, my servant. That's what he told the devil. Who you talking about, Job? Right. Who you talking about, Abraham? Who you talking about, Noah? You after them, huh? What race was Enoch? Huh? Was Enoch an Israelite? So y'all, we don't want to get caught up in that, not to cut you off, like, yeah. So y'all, we don't get into that. I know the questions are out there, but y'all, we have to answer them from the perspective that you can point to exactly what it is. If they want to dig deeper, let them dig deeper.
Right.
And then just tell them, bring me back the information. You just wanted to know.
You know how like you read different books, you like, what tribe are you from?
Right.
Just
Right.
You can trace them to some lost books or something, but to care about different tribes going on.
Right.
On the long you said the Lord is wrong.
Right. Absolutely.
Right, because
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
There ain't nothing wrong with that, brother.
Right.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, if you find out specifically, let us all know. You know.
Right. That's what we're saying. That's what we do down here. When you dig it deep.
Some of the, you know, we go back to, you know, not, you know, getting caught up in endless genealogy.
Right.
We must focus on and concentrate on seeking the kingdom.
Yeah.
That which pertained to the kingdom and our salvation.
Right.
You know, because we can get caught up on, well, what nationality? And we spend a whole day on trying to seek his nationality, but not the message in his whole being.
Right.
You know, his whole existence.
His love for the Lord, whether he was whatever race he was, his love for the Most High, that the Most High say, I know him personally. Now the problem would be us knowing we Israelites, if the devil came for us, I want it. If the Lord would say, I know him, go do what you got to do. But I'm telling you, he gonna stand fast. That would be a problem if he told the devil, you know, wait a minute now, he ain't ready yet. See, because the Messiah had to tell Peter that. He told him, Satan have sought to do what? Sift you like wheat. If you don't understand the ancient Hebrew process of sifting wheat, you ain't gonna know that sifting and getting it down to it says Satan he said, but I had to pray for you. He was on your trail because he know you like that outer cup, and he know you tough, but he like you to use that pistol and then have to explain, you know, at the police station. That ain't what he want to do. If there's an altercation with you and somebody else, if you get in the back of that police car, it's gonna be rough. If they hand you a card and say, we'll contact you if we have any more information, that's the way you want it. But if they say you got to go downtown with us, it may be some problems on how they're viewing the situation. But if they say we'll contact you later and you get in your car, they're probably not going to contact you, just tell you we don't need nothing else from you. Case gonna be closed. But if you ride in the back seat, call Big Mama. She may have to put her house up, call Big Mama. You finish that up, bro, let's get it. You finish that, boy. All right, y'all, so we're gonna get into a couple and then we're gonna get into open-ended questions. I know y'all got some things, and what I mean by open-ended, you understand it, but it's just not there complete yet. Just like that was an open-ended question. So we hope we close that ended. Like y'all got an alarm system, you can't set it if there's a area where an outsider can penetrate into your home, like windows and doors. It won't let you set the alarm. It's saying you have an open end, something is open, close that, and then we can move forward. You can set the alarm. So y'all open end question, we're trying to get it to the point to where you can close all the windows and doors and your home is secured. You're secured. You know what I mean? If somebody busts in there, you ain't gave them a way in.
Your temple.
Yeah, your temple. So that's what we're doing. Can't be no open ends. And like I said, a major thing that he hears a lot is about the law is not understood completely. Because we get to things that where somebody say, I don't eat pork no more. If you go into a fast food restaurant, you got pork traces. I mean, let's just be real about it. You think they gonna run out there with a Hebrew grill? He got fringes on. Get that Hebrew grill. Get the Hebrew grill. And they ringing bells. Hebrew in the house, Hebrew in the house. What is your order, sir? Give me that chicken sandwich. On the Hebrew grill, you will stand there and watch your sandwich being cooked by another sandwich with bacon on it. And you pay for it.
That grease running right into your burger.
You're not 100% pork free. But the Messiah fixed that for us in Mark 16 chapter. He said, if anything come in you unclean, I will cleanse that for you, long as it's on the menu that he's speaking of, the dietary law. If it's chicken and it's on that menu, order chicken, it's chicken. If you go in the store and it say, don't wear that pertaining to a woman, you can't be in the woman's section tomorrow. Well, it looked like a man's shirt to me. It's in the woman's section.
Got little slips on them.
And they set that up. They'll put buttons on the left for women hide button up. But the women pants, they put hips in it. So if you get mixed up, it get mixed up in the store. There's something, when you look at them and you standing in front of the mirror, you like, these look like I got on horse riding pants. You know how they had them horse riding pants, had a big hips. You're like, wait a minute. Why is there so much space on the side of these breeches? And then you look at the zip and it's zipping up the other way. You be like, shit, I done wore these to school 2 times. Damn, that's what they was doing when they was doing like this. Got on his sister's thing. But you may have to, look, when it's rough, you may have to exchange clothes. But you just still need to understand, y'all, because it's that critical out here. It's that critical, y'all. But understand the things, y'all. The Messiah has fixed it. He knew. He said, I'm going to send you to a place where you're going to eat your bread defiled until I come back and get y'all. Y'all didn't want pure bread. Just like in the wilderness. Do you know they turned down angels' food? Now, if we're trying to get to the kingdom, that's what we're going to be partaking in when we break bread. They're like, we don't want that. Hey, let's go back to Egypt, man. Man, that 2-piece, man, and that biscuit, boy, with that side of rancho camucho sauce, boy, I used to, woo. And look, manna bread, like in the Wisdom of Solomon, wait, whatever you imagine it to taste like, it would taste like that. So it was no way to go back. You couldn't make it taste like pork, but according to the law, but to keep you from looking back there, manna bread would taste exactly like what you would. Lamb, potatoes, some onions, and you eat it, that whole piece of bread would be that whole meal in your mouth, and you'd be like, hey.
But Israel was rebelling against that they had to get, he said, quail.
Yeah.
And these Negroes went fruitful and started gathering more quails than they needed.
Right.
Oh, chicken dinners. Oh, Lee's, KFC.
Come on, y'all. We got to move on. Who got some more questions, y'all? We want to get on with this class. Anybody got any questions? What you got back there, Ed? All the way out. Okay. Y'all, we're going to finish that 1 Timothy out, y'all. We're going to get right into 1 Corinthians 13 because we have to understand charity. Y'all, without charity, true charity, y'all, we wasted our time. And y'all gonna get a pure example of what the Messiah first, what true charity is. Y'all see a lot of charities out here, but when you understand what charity is, you're gonna get a better understanding on how you give to the poor and how you deal with things. Yeah.
Man, charitable.
Let's get it, bro. He wants you to finish that on out.
What was that? Verse 7. Is that what? 7.
Good report is what we would know.
Okay, 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 7. Moreover, he must have a good report of them which are without, lest he fall into reproach and the snare of the devil. Likewise, must the deacons be grave, not double-tongued, not given to much wine, not greedy of filthy lucre, holding the mystery of the faith in a pure conscience. And let these also first be proved. Then let them use the office of a deacon, being found blameless.
Now let me tell you, not to cut you off, like a perfect blameless deal is Free Case Ray out of the Purple Gang. Free Case Ray has a current blame against him that's public knowledge that he was part of a free case that railroaded some brothers. So at this point, until that blame is rectified, that where, like we're saying, Free Case Ray, he has to publicly make an acknowledgement either the United States government is lying on me, or he has to move down to where he still got people calling that and you free casing. See, there's an active blame out there right now that he's being called Free Case Ray because of that public knowledge of free casing two Israelites. Until he gets that out there, but you know what he said on tape? I know what some of y'all been hearing, but guess what? We ain't talking about it no more.
I don't even have a clue.
And you know what they said? Okay. So at that point, he's uncontrollable at this point because he said, I'm not going to discuss it. Well, it's in the United States courts. Nathaniel Ray, a part of this, and there's a lawsuit against him with all of the detectives. Knew this boy before they locked him up. The boy was 6'10" that robbed the bank, and this boy the size of Webster, about a.
She said the size of Webster.
And you went on with the case, and they was locked up for over a year and a half before they were freed. And you signed off like that episode of Good Times. So y'all, this is what it's saying. No carrying blame. It don't mean ain't nobody gonna ever have blame on it. But when you rocking like this, it can't be nothing like that that's staining your name.
You got the definition.
Go ahead. What it say, bro?
G410. An inclitos.
What?
An inclitos.
Inclination.
That cannot be called into to account.
Can't be. Go ahead, bro.
Unprovable. Unaccused. Blameless. Unaccused, that is, by implication.
By implication.
Irreproachable.
What?
Irreproachable. And blameless.
See, he don't want to talk about it no more. He should pull up the case and run it down right here. If you can see, I signed off on that because this what was happening. At least let everybody know. And then that way he can look at us and say, y'all slandering me. But he done told his people, we ain't talking about it no more. Who want to talk about it? Nate, not me. So y'all, that's what it's saying. But what we're talking about before you move on, like, let me just read this, y'all, what we talk about, that Wisdom of Solomon 16 and 20. Hold that what you got. I'm just gonna read it quick, like you got to pull up. This the Wisdom of Solomon about manna bread. Verse 20, instead of where thou feedest thy own people with angel food and then send them from heaven, bread prepared without their labor. You didn't even have to cook it. Able to content every man's delight and agreeing to every taste. For thy substance declared the sweetness unto the children of Israel, and serving to the appetite of the eater, tempered itself to every man's liking.
And tempered itself. That's 16 and what?
That's 16 and 20 and 21. About manna bread. But guess what? Didn't want manna bread no more. Kept thinking about back in Egypt. Now you're talking about going to the kingdom, but you're talking about eating food that has corruptible flesh. You want to go back to eating corruptible flesh food.
The food of the heathen.
Look, how does frozen food stink? You ever cleaned out your freezer? Yeah. Some in here rotten. It's frozen though, but it's dead flesh that's decaying. You will have to empty that freezer out of frozen. You can't freeze away what the Most High did. You're not going to be able to stop worms coming out of it, out of cows, out of whatever, out of human beings. The only one that walked this earth like that had that flesh was the Messiah. No worms would come out of it. Let's move on, like finish up what you're talking about.
First Timothy.
Yeah.
Chapter 3, verse 8.
11.
Oh, okay, 11. All right, I'm sorry. Thank you. Even so, must their wives be grave,
Right.
not slander,
Not what?
not slander, sober,
Right.
faithful in all things.
See, so the wives had to be in check. She had to be sober. She couldn't be a drunkard. How you teaching a class and she's sitting there with a pee stain in the front? Look, man, she's just having some problems with that distilled spirit, bro. We're gonna look past it. And then she just roll over and cut. Like, hold on, man, let's just go to another room.
Verse 12. Let the deacons be the husbands of one wife, ruling their children and their own houses well. For they that have used the office of a deacon well purchase to themselves a good degree.
A what?
A good degree.
See, that'll be up on the wall for you. House well ordered. We buy them signs at the store right now. House well ordered. You don't have them sayings on that. But if that got a piece of ketchup and broken glass in it, that's where y'all fighting and you throw that at her and it's broken. If that's on there, you just got some words up there on the wall. Right. Go ahead, bro.
And great boldness in the faith which is in Christ Yahushua.
That's right.
These things write I unto thee, open to come unto thee shortly. But if I tarry long, that thou mayest know how thou oughtest behave thyself in the house of Yahweh.
In the what?
In the house of Yahweh, which is the church of the living God, the pillar and ground of the truth. And without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. Yahweh was manifest in the flesh, justified in the spirit, seen of angels, preached unto the Gentiles.
Preached unto who?
The Gentiles. Believed on in the world, received up into glory.
So either that's just ink on paper, or we got to get busy and understand that. Y'all, it ain't hard. It ain't hard. Y'all, but we can't be like the children that you knew or you grew up with that had everything, but they didn't have manners. They mother pull up, get out the cab and struggling with grocery, and y'all playing marbles, and he look up and see it and just keep on going. And then you look up and see it and you just immediately run and he outrun you. Get back, that's my mom. Give me them bags, mom. And she looking at him like, shh. I got rope burns from all them other bags the other day. You ain't did nothing. You know, they know. Only did he pushing you out of the way. So in nations like that, you can't push them out of the way because they choose to serve our God. What you want them to do? Serve Satan?
Right. And then right there, what he just said, you have to always understand about, you have to self-examine yourself first before you judge somebody else. You got to stop and look and say that this is what I truly believe in. And if you walk in the way that it is written, all these problems don't happen. All these problems that's why being like-minded, Shalom, being like-minded in one body. His name is 3 to 3. He want to read her, and we gonna get to.
Yeah.
We all have to understand that y'all, this is y'all camp, and it's not a just come in here and sit down and listen and get up and walk out. If this is our body, this is our house. If we all lived in the same household, everybody has a job to do there, don't you? Somebody's job to cut the grass, somebody's job to wash the dishes, somebody's job to sweep them off the floor. We have to have that same mindset about this is our camp, and we all need help. Everybody in here needs help, and we all need help running and keep moving. We will fight and die for this. We ain't gonna lose what we got. And I pray, Lord, that I've been praying since last week, but it never come to that. But the fact is, we have to understand that this is ours.
That's right.
It's not run by one person.
Right.
It's run by all of us.
That's right.
Go ahead.
So y'all gonna hit this 1 Corinthians 13. We're gonna hit that Amos 3. But we have to get to y'all. We have to understand charity. If we don't understand that amongst each other, we can't show it to the world.
That's right.
So we're gonna hit that, and we're gonna get some good understanding. We're gonna read that whole chapter of that. We're gonna hit that Amos 3. If you had anything else, you good on that? You good? Okay. So y'all, we're gonna go ahead and move forward, y'all. And then after we hit this and get established, any question y'all got, something that I can't close the door on it, like he was asking about Job. So if we can't close the door, we're gonna give you enough ammunition to where you can go find the door closure and bring it back to us. You may have to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's like this debate, where are all the 12 tribes? I know what Judah at. You know, and I understand the process, but just like we can go to Deuteronomy 28, if it's anybody else out there, we can't do their work for them. We can't ask Indians and say they are the Israelites and they ain't saying it. It's got to be a group of them, like it's a group of us saying we are from the tribe of Isaac. This where we traced it from. The only people I've seen that I've even kind of paid attention to that studied is all the way down from Jerusalem is those who they call Philosophians or the tribe of Dan. They say we Dan. We've had this law for 2,000 years, and they were airlifted back to Jerusalem in a mission called Operation Moses on the first one, and then Operation Solomon. And the white lady,
1982 and 1985.
yes sir, wrote a book called what's that book called? By Ruth Gruber. Ruth Gruber, and she said when they stepped off the plane, they looked like the Jews of the Bible. So y'all look up Ruth Gruber. She was the one that the man was shaking and trembling when O.G. Maddox hollered out, "What about these Negroes here in America?" Because they brought one of them out to Washington University.
Brother,
and he asked,
big old fraud.
Elijah was out there. So he asked, what about us? You know, do you know who you're speaking with? You're speaking with Ruth Gruber. He said, what about us here in America? When you coming and get us? And I mean, that almost shut it down because
It did.
they just wanted to do that.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Move out of here. So y'all, they know who we already are, just like they know where the other tribes is. But I'm not doing nobody else's homework. If they about it, come Thanksgiving, we shouldn't have to keep defending Thanksgiving. They should be, a tribe of them should be stepping up and say, y'all wrong for this. Y'all violating Deuteronomy 28. They're our brothers. Why ain't they a host of them in the Black Lives Movement? Why ain't they protecting us? Why ain't they? These are the tribes of Judah, y'all killing the police. Why ain't they stepping up doing that? We talk about them getting slaughtered in Thanksgiving, don't you? When somebody gonna step up from us for the other 10 tribes? That's what we talking about. But I know Jacob talked to that boy personally because he faked like he was a news reporter and got an interview with him, got it on tape. And he told him, he said, I'm your race. I know you my brother. I know you my brother. See, wasn't supposed to have, they didn't want the camera put on him because they said he still got family back there. So as we wrapping up the call, we just twisted the camera. And he looking like a young Dr. J, the one they brought up here. Twisted the camera on him. But Jake said he was from some newspaper. Yeah, I'm from the Cote Brilliant Gazette.
Yeah, it wasn't the St. Louis American. People of the world.
Yeah. They didn't know. Well, go ahead. They call them Philosophians or wanderers. It just means wanderer.
Lasha, F-A-L-A-S-H-A-S.
Lasha. Yeah. Y'all
Yeah,
look
them up, but,
just look up the word philosopher, just mean wanderer. Yeah.
They the ones also say that they're in Ethiopia.
Right.
And they say that they have the Ark of the Covenant.
Down in the basement of the Church of Mary of Zion, they say we got the Ark of the Covenant. They may have the replica, but they say they got it. Guess who went there? The Queen of England.
And was scared as hell.
Mussolini went there. What they coming to this church for?
It's a little one-room church with a fence around it.
And they got one guardian that watch it every day. That's his life mission, to dust off the ark. Now we know a couple arks was made when Jerusalem was getting ransacked. They may have a replica. The Vatican could have the other one. Don't know. Or it could be hid like in Jeremiah say. But guess what? That ain't written in these chapters of Jeremiah where it's at. So you got to deal with that too, y'all. It's a lot of twists and turns with these scriptures, y'all.
These are the mysteries of the Most High.
Right.
That shall be revealed in His own time.
Right. Boy, say it again, because that's the thing that was on me about how much of this stuff do we get so involved in that we trying to seek out every piece of information that we can find. This is not meant to be known all of it. We got the basics right here, what we need.
Right.
The basic instructions before leaving Earth, we got the answers to what we need to get us up out of here. Now, as far as trying to find out all this, trying to get into the mind of the Most High, no. And trying to figure out everything that He says, no.
Right.
It's not for us to know all these things. I would love to be able to look at the past and see our history come back.
Well, I'm glad you didn't say the future, because we seen the past.
Yes.
Because you look and see the future, boy. We'll see you, boy. You'll be trembling from what you done saw. Be skinny. Won't be able to be like, boy, you on that Jenny Crab?
Right.
Let's move on, y'all. Where we at? Go ahead, sis. What you got?
No.
No. Right. So that's why we're saying it's probably a replica. Unless they've been given priest status over it. But we are in the order of Melchizedek. So the priests are different now. We're the royal priesthood. See, you ain't under Aaron no more. Everything changes with that. The Messiah is basically the Ark of the Covenant now.
Right.
So it's just replica now.
That's why He says in that day, no one will say, remember the Ark of
the Covenant,
or seek it anymore.
Right.
For it should be right before you. The Christ will be right before you. The law, statutes, and judgments right before you. No need to seek for the Ark of the Covenant.
All right, we're at 1 Corinthians chapter 13, starting at verse 1.
I want you to read that whole chapter.
Okay.
And y'all, so because it's going to answer a lot of things about prophecy and in part. So y'all, after we hit this in the Amos 3, then we'll ask if any of y'all got any open-ended questions, so to speak, of a scripture that ain't been fulfilled completely for your understanding. We'll do the best we can. We'll hit a little bit of law like bro was speaking of. We'll hit a little bit of Leviticus 11, Deuteronomy 14 of the dietary law.
Yeah.
Who gonna eat a pizza tonight?
Unless you're making it at home.
They putting it in there with that same thing, but the Most High keep that smoke off of yours if you order what's on the dietary list.
If you are obedient.
Right. Absolutely, bro. Let's get it, y'all.
All right, chapter 13, verse 1.
What it say?
Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal.
So he's saying, even if I speak with the tongues of angels and ain't no edification, I'm just sounding brass. That means you just banging. You know how children just, you buy them an instrument, they just hitting it on stuff. That's the way it sounds. They ain't playing nothing, they just banging, they tearing up furniture. Go ahead.
Verse 2.
And
though I have the gift of prophecy,
right,
and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, and have not charity, I am nothing.
And see, Paul is saying this from though if I have, so he don't have this, because if he had all knowledge and all faith, he would be the Messiah.
And we were just talking about that.
So he's not saying I have all, he's just comparing. He said, if I had all these things, if I could move a mountain and I don't have charity, then I'm nothing. You know why? Because Judas Iscariot had all of the gifts the rest of the disciples had. He was doing the same work, but he didn't have charity because he wanted the kingdom right then. So he sold the Messiah out. It wasn't charity.
For slave money.
For slave wages, chicken change. 2 pieces and a biscuit money. He sold the Messiah out. So that's not charity. You know, under no circumstance, you take the gifts of the Most High and you use them for this, that's not charity. So that's what Paul is saying. Though I have every gift, if I can speak in tongues and I'm not using it for the right purpose, I'm tripping. Read some more.
Verse 3. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing.
Y'all think about that. Though I give all my gifts to the poor, if I leave, like some of these billionaires leave all their money to charities, but you may be leaving all your money to cancer research.
Right.
They're not researching cure. You're leaving it for them to research treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So ain't no cure in treatment. You stay on the pill. That's what they keep inventing, pills to treat, not cure. Cancer is curable. They got it for the elite. That's how they last so long. But ain't no cure for the death angel. And ain't a pill out there for the death angel. So y'all, you think about that. Do I bestow all my goods and have not charity? Or like if you see somebody out on the street with a "we'll work for food" sign, you got a partner, you breaking them off. Hold on. This what I'm talking about, bro. Charity, hold on. $100 bill. Come here, bud, come here. See that 100? Go take care of yourself, brother. See, that's how I get down, dog. See, that's how I get. No, you don't have charity. You showing out to be seen of me. Look it up, Yoel for, Zebediah for.
The scripture gonna break it down.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Most High interprets it all. We need not ask. It's gonna interpret itself. It always does.
Verse 4. Charity suffereth long.
What does charity do?
It suffereth long and is kind.
It's what?
It's kind.
Charity envieth not. Charity vaunted not itself, is not puffed up.
And vaunted is like the pole vault competition. Charity shouldn't throw you over the bar. Because then that eliminate me being a poor man. I can't get over the bar at that point. Charity shouldn't, it's not puffed up. You ain't got to let nobody know you did something. You ain't got to do nothing but sit back and saying this is how I do it. I do that, You ain't got to talk about it. When you talk about what you did for somebody, then it wasn't true charity.
Right.
Because you're looking for them to reward you back or to tell somebody what you did for them.
See, the Most High said, do your charity in secret there, that he may reward you openly.
Reward you what, bro?
Openly.
Yes, sir.
So you ain't got to go broadcast all your alms. Said don't broadcast your alms. Do them out of the pureness of your heart, that he may reward you openly before men. And they say, man, that's a good brother. Look at the way he walks. Look at the way he talks and carries himself. And he has favor.
Yes.
It ain't because you got riches, but people like you. They like you being around. They like, man, this is a good dude, man.
Right.
Like this dude, man. Good spirit. Give the shirt off his back.
Yeah.
Man, ain't asking for nothing. Always willing to help.
The example he was given also is just like we always say about Nino Brown in that movie. When you showing out on Thanksgiving buying turkeys for the poor, see, what about the day before Thanksgiving? What about the day after? When you're selling all that crap, they still gotta eat. Feeding them one day out of 365. That's the point. You set them up for the whole year. You want to be big ballers, set them up for the whole year. Have a grocery store truck show up on the holy spot every day and feed the poor.
Hold it right there, bro. I just want to hit a little bit of Sirach 35. Just hit the first 6 verses for me. And this going to explain keeping the law is sacrifice enough. So y'all, this is not a thing where it's limited to money. It's limited to obedience. You don't understand how much charity comes from obedience alone, from just keeping law. Somebody see, you know what, bro? He said, man, I've been watching you every day. Like y'all may see something that where this boy was walking to school every day because they moved. And somebody bought him a car. He's in this thing. He's not walking to school for them to see him. They saw him walking in his graduation gown. And they was like, you know, this boy wants to graduate. He wants to do right. They bought him a car.
Didn't even have a license.
Then right. So, but I'm just saying from that perspective, bought it for his family too. So all of them can get around. But this is what those without see, you're trying to accomplish something. And you never know who watching. So your struggles ain't in vain, y'all. Let's get some more. What it say? Get this Sirach 35, 1 through 1 through 11. No.
You said 1 through 6 first.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, 1 through 13. Double up on that. Uriah.
All right. In the book of Ecclesiastes, in the Apocryphal chapter 35.
Ecclesiasticus.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocryphal chapter 35, 1 through 13. Verse 1 says, "He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough."
Y'all see that? He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough. It's enough if you keeping the law. Everything else is a plus for you to stack up kingdom riches. But keeping the law, you're at a good level right there. That's arms enough because everybody around you get enlightened. What more can you do that but keep the law? Having a bunch of money and breaking the law, just like he was talking about Nino Brown. He's selling heroin and crack up to Thanksgiving the 23rd or whenever the day is, and then he give out turkeys on the 24th. Guess what's happening on the 25th? Ain't no Black Friday. He back at work with that y'all done belch turkey now. Come on with my paper and get these drugs. Right back into it again. So this is what it said. If they'd have kept the commandment, they wouldn't have took the turkey and they wouldn't have did nothing else because they know he's setting us up. Go ahead, bro.
He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough. He that taketh heed to the commandment offereth a peace offering.
Y'all see that? He's offering peace offerings. So y'all, you have to understand when you read about the law and offer 2 bullocks, if you're doing this, it's saying just keeping the law, you doing that anyway. Because all that is symbolic. You have to have that inherited word. It's enough to where the Most High say, I know him. Satan, go ahead, whatever you saying, but don't touch his soul. You can't touch his soul. You can wear that flesh out, it's going to die anyway. Let's get it. Where we at?
Verse 2.
He
that requireth a good turn offereth fine flour, and he that giveth alms sacrificeth praise. To depart from wickedness is a thing pleasing to the Lord, and to forsake unrighteousness is a propitiation. Thou shalt not appear empty before the Lord.
Now, you have to understand this. He's saying, thou shalt not appear empty before the Lord. So this don't mean you still got to get some money. What he's saying is, you at least got to be a commandment keeper.
Right.
You can't just stand up and, Lord, you know my heart. Your heart is full of wickedness. You can't come before him empty. And he's leveling it down to what does it cost to do this? What is that costing you? They're almost free. You can go to Dollar General. You can get 1 Bible for $1. You can stack up on them. Hot sheet joints, they in the drawer. You may not want to see him, may close it back. There's a Bible in there.
He watching me.
He everywhere. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 5.
That's only if you stand there doing wrong. Go ahead.
For all these things are to be done because of the commandment.
Because of the what?
Of the commandment.
Right.
The offerings of the righteous maketh the altar fat.
Right.
And the sweet savor thereof is before the Most High.
Right.
The sacrifice of a just man is acceptable, and the memorial thereof shall never be forgotten.
Right.
Give the Lord his honor with a good eye.
With a good what?
With a good eye.
And
diminish not the first fruits of thine hands. In all thy gifts show a cheerful countenance, and dedicate thy tithes with gladness.
See, so y'all have to understand and say with everything, do it with gladness. You must have a cheerful heart when you do it. See, that's why Christmas is so bad. You done opened up one of them top flight games, what is it, PS9? Or y'all know what it is, PS4. Okay, so, and then they open up yours, and it's a Big Lot toaster. It's gonna be some problems. I know damn well.
Yep.
I spent $400 on a game. What the hell I need with a toaster? It's from Big Lots. See, it's gonna be chaotic. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 10. Give unto the Most High according as he hath enriched thee.
According to he has done what?
Enriched thee.
So you're not forced to give commanded tithes. It's like these camps doing and charging 20% tithe, and the church charging 10% here and there. It says, and that's what the scripture always say, give according to your increase. If there's no increase, you have to keep the commandments. Most of the time, people give a lot is around income tax time. You got to increase. People give things then around that time. There's an increase. But if you're making $8 an hour all year, and you've been given a $2, that's all you can afford to give. It has to stay at $2. You can't give it $4. You can't be tricked into Malachi 3:8. Will a man rob God? And you're juggling the light bill, cutting you off Monday. It's Sunday. He's telling you the Lord will deliver you. Stop at Home Depot, Family Dollar on the way home and pick up some candles. If you give them, shalom, y'all, if you give them your house money, there's going to be a problem. You have to take care of home first before you take down. Can't nobody live down here. This is a rented space. Where we gonna set you up at? You can't live in a temple. Nobody ever lived in any of the temples. You won't live in New Jerusalem, the city, the holy city. You have lots and plots according to Ezekiel 44, Ezekiel 48 chapter. You won't live in it. We just go there in the gate of Judah. We go through the gate of Judah. But after worship is done and the healing of the nations and it's getting back, you go back to your mansion and your livestock. How many flocks on the hill? Thousands of flocks on the hill. That's what you go back to. But you're not living in a temple that ain't never been from the start to the finish. You living in there.
No, because Christ said, no, come here. At these appointed times, I need to holler at you.
Right.
Y'all need to come and check in. Then I send you on back to your place.
That's right.
You need to come check in. Check in at the crib.
Check in at
like
the crib.
Your mama say,
yeah, right.
Call and check in.
You check in. Just check in. Boy, let me know you're still alive. Street lights come on. That was check in, wasn't it? Some of us could go back out. Some of us, that was it.
Yeah, for me, that was it.
Check in. Come on.
It was check in for us, but Nerf couldn't handle it. See, I didn't mind hearing early bird, early bird, early bird. I say either that or that Hot Wheel track she got. He would sneak back out. She do a check. What that boy? And I say, he was laying down when I laid down. Get up and put your clothes on. Because my father drove cabs at night. We go out the door, there he is sitting on the car laughing and hollering, get your it! And all the other kids run on off. But I didn't have a problem with early bird. Go ahead, bro.
Uzziah had a question.
Uzziah, you got one?
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 1 through 10.
What is talking about?
Poor.
The poor?
Yeah. It says,
You want to read it, brother? Go ahead.
It says, my son, defraud not the poor of his living, and make not the needy eyes to wait long. Make not a hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress.
Mm-hmm.
Add no more trouble to the heart that is bad, and defer not to give him that is in need. Reject not the supplications afflicted, neither run away thy face from a poor man. Turn not away thy eyes from the needy, and give him once
None.
occasion to curse thee.
Give him none occasion.
None occasion to curse thee. So y'all have to understand, like, we see them on every street corner, right? It says, turn not your eye away from them. That don't mean you have to give them the money. You just can't look away. Look them in the eye. And then, I mean, you can drive off. It's not saying you have to give every person out there with a sign your money. It said, don't turn your eye away from them. Just look at them. Get a visual of them. And then if you come through there again, you can say, Lord, have mercy on this individual. You come back through there again, he's still there. You have the opportunity to give to him again. But if you look at him and look away so he won't come to your car, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, because most of them start cussing. So,
Well, you know, and like I say, even if they cuss, some are making it a job. Like the one with the run out of gas deal.
yeah.
Walking with the gas can back and forth and point to the car. Man, we're not just trying to get a little change. You hand him a 10, and next week he back out there again. You pull up. I'm just trying to say, like, boy, what's going on? You keep running out at the same spot. Put $11 in your gas tank. At least have the car stop up here. But he running a scam on you. So you know at that point that this is a scam. But at least look him in the eye and let him know. Go ahead, bro.
I got with the $2 gas thing, and the dude didn't even have a car. The lady, he pointed to the car in the parking lot. She looked at me like, the nigga don't know me.
Right. But look.
It's got you for $2.
Right.
Putting in my car, thinking it was a out of gas. And he walked on off. I'm like, ain't that a flip?
And right, and if you give it, y'all, you can't say I didn't do it, because you can't give away what you can't afford to lose.
See, you were doing charity.
Right.
You were doing the act of charity itself.
Right. You wasn't worried about getting anything back, and it's not part of your bill money. You can't then say, I gave him my money, I went in my pocket, went in my bill. If you did that, that's not charity. What shame on you at that point? Like a boy had a poster, I'm gonna say we're gonna move on, this big, about a little girl that died in a fire. I'm at the car wash. Man, we just trying to get her buried, man. They didn't have no insurance. I gave him, I ain't gonna tell you what I gave him, but I gave him some substantial. And I'm steady white, okay. I'm back up there a week later, 2 weeks later, he still got the poster. I'm like, y'all ain't buried her yet? He said, yeah. And went the other way. So I'm not saying you got me. I didn't chase me to give it back. I just said, okay, well, the Lord know why I did it. And then he went that extra mile to make a poster and stuff, but y'all, we got to watch this. It's people out there hustling every day. If they see Katrina, when they had that, people were setting up fake charities. Y'all got to be careful out here, y'all. But keeping the commandment is enough, because when you understand about charity, you cannot give what you cannot afford to lose. You can't give nobody no money and say, I need my money back Thursday. Now, don't have my money. See, you can't threaten either with that. Don't have my money Thursday, see what happens. Don't give them the money then. If you got to threaten, because guess what? If the death angel come on Wednesday, what's going to happen with your money? Next, you're going to family members. Or you're going to be rifling through his pockets in the casket. In the pants he had on when Let's finish up, y'all. We're in the 3:30 hour, y'all. We need to get going.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We are in 10 again.
Right.
Give unto the Most High according as he hath enriched thee. And as thou hast gotten, give with a cheerful eye.
Give with a what?
A cheerful eye.
Right.
For the Lord recompenses and will give thee 7 times as much.
So it can't be like a lotto either. Like the Lord say, he'll do this 7 times. So I'm gonna get this homeless man this 20 times 7 is who good in math? 140. I ought to be receiving 140 shortly. Keep looking in the mailbox. I ain't seen no 140 check. So you can't do it like a lotto. Go ahead, bro. Finish that off.
Verse 12. Do not think to corrupt with gifts.
Do not think to do what?
Corrupt with gifts. For such as he will not receive, and trust not to unrighteous sacrifices. For the Lord is judge, and with him is no respect of persons. He will not accept any person against a poor man, but will hear the prayers of the oppressed.
So y'all have to understand there's a difference in poor and begging. Poor is we can go to poor overnight. Let both of y'all be working at General Motors and they come through and say everybody losing their job tonight. That's two $30 an hour jobs gone. And both y'all on unemployment now, $380 a week. From $3,800 a week down to $380 a week. Somebody's finna hit poor status. Y'all understand that? So poor is always got a plan to say, when I get back on my feet, I'm gonna repay this 7 times back to you. They have a plan. They're expressing, bro, let me do something for you. You know, I'll do this, I say that. But begging is a total different thing, y'all. So that's why you have to be careful of begging. Like somebody that's got that car trick, those are beggars. And the only way you're gonna have the determination is look at them. And then if you drive back through there and they still there again, doing things, look at the same surrounding. They got on the same clothes. If they doing this, you kind of understand they hustling, you know. So you got to be extra careful. Hold that right quick while we in Sirach. Just do 40 and 26. Just read, hold this 35. I just want y'all to hear 40 and 26 so y'all understand the difference in begging versus being poor. There's two different things. Begging will ask for $2, and you know $2 ain't gonna do nothing for a grown man, but buy him a 40 ounce. I'm not gonna take care of your pleasures of libation. No, ain't gonna do it. Not gonna give you money for that. If you say I got $38, I need $2 more to get a room to get off the street. Total different thing. But I'm not gonna give you $2 to go in there and satisfy your wants. This is about needs. Where we at? Just read that for me. 40 and 26 there.
Reading in the book of Ecclesiastes.
Same Sirach. Just moved it to chapter 40. We coming back to that 35 to finish down to verse 16 or whatever I see. Okay. Okay, we're going back 13 then. Go ahead, bro. 40, 26.
Start at 25.
You can start at 25.
The book of Sirach, chapter 40 and verse 25. Gold and silver make the foot stand sure.
Right.
But counsel is esteemed above them both.
Yo, if any one of us hit the Powerball, our financial problems are over. But counsel has to stand sure, or you going to just be the same wicked person with Powerball money. That means your wickedness is going to rise up to the level like this now. So instead of you like to make it drizzle because you got a short change, now you making it thunderstorm in the club. And guess what? In a month, where you going to be back at? Making it drizzle again. Go ahead. Where we at, bro?
Verse 26. Riches and strength lift up the heart, but the fear of the Most High is above them both. There is no want in the fear of the Most High, and it needeth not to seek help.
See, you see those two words, want and need? There's no want of fear of the Most High. It needed. See, y'all, the two are together. Need is what the Most High provides. Your wants, you have to sacrifice and get your need, get your wants. Man, I like them gator boots, but these bills over here, I got to sacrifice something. Okay, well, I'm gonna cut back on fast food. I eat $30 a day. See, I go to Golden Corral every other day. I'm gonna cut back 2 days on that and watch the money stack up, then get them gator boots. But you can't keep going to the Golden Corral and get them gator boots. Some gonna have to give. Right. You're gonna be sitting up in there eating sharp as a razor and come back home to something that ain't looking right. Y'all done seen them out in the club. Their wealth is on their back. Hey, what you think about these gators, dog? This Gucci right here. And then when they go home,
house about to fall apart.
Hey, it's a total different story, y'all. Because they're bragging about the outer cup, but where you have to sustain and get a peace of mind and have to be out from the cold because you can't live in the club. Let's read some more.
Verse 27. The fear of the Most High is a fruitful garden and covereth him above all glory. My son, lead not a beggar's life, for better it is to die than to beg.
So y'all have to understand the difference between poor and begging. Two totally different things. If a child's parents die, he's in a poor status unless he got some relatives coming to save him. He's got to grow up now in a state home.
Christ said the poor will always be in the earth.
Right.
You always have him with you.
The poor will always be in the earth. You know why? So you don't forget how to give. That's why they left here. In the kingdom, ain't no poor. Everybody's rich spiritually first, and everybody got their own mansions and different things. But the poor are left here so we don't forget how to give to the poor in spirit first, and then embodiment from that point on. But a beggar, totally different things. Beggars only show up on feast days.
And what you all have to understand too about all these people that are out here on the corners at the intersections, ask one of them, why ain't you out in Chesterfield doing it? So they don't allow that out there, and these people know that they can't go out. So, but then why are you hustling us? Why are we playing?
For one, the dope house may not be out in Chesterfield. Dope house down here. Yeah, you gonna spend up all the dope money getting back to the city? The whole thing is I need to get this money and get right back over there on Coke Bridge as quickly as I can, walking quick. Y'all know what it is when you see them cut through a lawn and go down the alley, and then they knocking on the door.
And then they right back out at the same spot within 15 minutes.
Finish that up.
That one light-skinned brother that they done trapped.
Yeah, they busted him.
He's from the hood. He's from your hood. Walk up and down my mother-in-law's house street, man, just as clear as day. I mean, just as healthy. He get to that point, he broke down and limping and dragging the foot on the whole charade, man.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, then people that tracked him got pictures of him going to the dope house.
Right.
Coming out, walking just as happy as when he get back to that point, he dragging that leg and doing the hunchback of Notre Dame walk. I knew he was fake.
And even if you give it to him, you have to say in your heart, well, I gave it from the perspective that he was out here so that you have peace within yourself. Why? If not, you're going to hate him. And you're gonna try to expose him. And then that's not true charity.
And that's what people been doing because they got pictures of them riding cars, driving cars, all kind of stuff. I mean, they've been actually tracking this cat.
Verse 28, hit that again.
The book of Sirach, chapter 40, verse 28.
What it say?
My son, lead not a beggar's life, for better it is to die than to beg. The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life. For he polluteth himself with other men's meat, but a wise man well nurtured will beware thereof. Begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless.
Of the who?
In the mouth of the shameless.
Right.
But in his belly there shall burn a fire.
See, we may be put in a position, you're not begging when you go ask for assistance. You saying, just get me over the hump. I just need that's what like unemployment is. It's just to get you through till you can find another job. Unemployment gonna run out. Sooner or later, it's going to run out. What you gonna do then? So you can't sit back on that. That's just to try to sustain you till you get to the next place. And it ain't the same money. You're scrapping to get by.
But even in unemployment, you have to be showing them that you're
looking
for employment.
Yeah.
You cannot just collect money because they want to see your report.
Right.
And you have to list all the places that you have actively sought employment at.
And I know personally about messing with unemployment. personally about it, messing with it. And some gator boots.
Hey,
Let's move on
back
now.
here.
Back to 35.
In
Yes.
this 28, when it says, "And my son, lead not a beggar's life." At this point right here, this father who is talking to his son, he's telling him, you have a choice right now.
Yes, sir.
Don't do this. A beggar's life is what is being compared to show you that a person who begs, they beg it because they have to beg. He's saying, don't lead that life. They're
Right.
begging because they have to. You don't have
Not
to.
because they want to.
You don't have to. So if you go out here leading the life, that's the one that's standing up there begging and ain't got to beg.
You made a conscious decision.
Well, but see, you would never know. If a sign said we'll work for food, put them on the back of the truck.
But he's saying at this point, this son has a choice.
When you get through raking them leaves, you said we'll work for food. He ain't gonna get on the truck. Then you know what he's up to. He's a beggar. See, you have to feed him. You have to. So if they saying I'll work for food, put them on the truck.
Yeah, cat asked me for.
And set the
I
food out.
wanna eat. I said, well, when I'm done handling my business, I'm gonna take you over here and get you some food. I come out, I said, well, let's go get you some food. He said, no, just give me the money. I said, oh, you
ain't hungry.
You're right.
You ain't hungry.
Let's get it, y'all. We run out of time, y'all. We right at 4 o'clock. I want to finish up that 1 Corinthians, that Amos,
Okay.
and just ask a few open-ended questions. Go ahead, bro. No, you're in 35 and verse 13.
In Ecclesiastes?
Yeah.
35 and 13.
Y'all got to hold y'all finger on them spots.
35 and 13.
13.
Yeah, we was only going down to 13. I think I finished that.
No, you
No.
12.
Yeah, you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll read 12 again. You got 12 and 13. Do not think to corrupt with gifts. See, this is what people do in the political world.
Right.
Also, all they talk about the politicians and the lobbyists.
Yeah.
So the lobbyists is the ones that's corrupting politicians with gifts.
Right. Go ahead, bro.
So, do not think to corrupt with gifts, for such he will not receive, and trust not to unrighteous sacrifices. For the Lord is judge, and with him is no respect of persons. He will not accept any person against a poor man, but will hear the prayer of the oppressed.
So we can hold that. So he hears the prayer of the oppressed. Oppressed, if you're oppressed from, you just don't want to do nothing. That's a total different thing of you're oppressed from being poor. You hitting the job market. You trying all you can. Everything is just the doors are being slammed in your face, but you got to get up and knock on another one. Once you give up, if you give up, ain't nothing coming. You never know, this may be the door because the Most High is trying your patience. No, he gonna get it at door number 6. If he get up and go for door number 6, he gonna see a blessing rain down on him. You look like a biblical man. Do you go to church on the Sabbath? Yes, I do. Well, you're gonna get the Sabbath off. And we're gonna give you this wage. And you'll be like, Lord have mercy.
There it is.
There it is. And then you'll call everybody and let them know. So we hold that, y'all. Let's get right back to this 1 Corinthians 13, y'all. We're gonna move forward, and then we're just gonna take a couple open-ended. Bro, may want to do a little bit of law, y'all, and we're gonna get on out of here.
We at verse 4.
What it say?
Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up. Do not behave itself unseemly. Seeketh not her own reward. Seeketh not her own. Is not easily provoked. Thinketh no evil.
Thinketh no what?
No evil.
See, charity ain't never got a plot behind it. It ain't never doing something. You buying something for somebody for the other outcome on the other side. See, you know, yeah.
I get it this.
I get it this, yeah. Yeah, see, Earl can't buy this. No. Earl got skills in other areas that money can't buy. At midnight. Let's go.
Verse 6.
What it say?
Rejoices not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in truth. Beareth all things, believeth all things.
Believe how many things?
All things.
Okay.
Hopeth all things, endureth all things. Charity never fails.
What charity never do?
Never fails. But whether there be prophecies, they shall fail.
Right.
Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether they be knowledge, it shall vanish away.
It's not saying that the Lord's prophecy failed, but men go off. The whole thing was to set up for Adam, for us to live for 1,000 years. They failed that, so there was a plan B. So the prophecy that his original plan for man and woman to create and go this way failed. That prophecy of that came to a failing point because man broke the covenant. So now he has to put in plan B so we get back to fulfill that prophecy. Because we still got to have children born in eternal life righteously. That still has to happen. Or it goes void, the prophecy fails. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 9. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part.
Right.
But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away.
So when the Messiah comes, it's going to answer all the questions.
All the mystery.
He going to clear it all up. You ain't got to wonder about it. All you got to do is walk the same walk he walked. It's going to clear everything up for you when perfect is come.
That's why he said he has a name on his thigh that no man knows until he comes.
Right.
And he will reveal all these dark mysteries that we were pondering in our hearts all these times. It'll be revealed to us.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 9. We know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect shall come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
See, when you become a man, you have to put away childish things. When we was children, we get behind the wheel of the car. I'm driving. It ain't going nowhere. Now, would you look like a grown man with a beard in the car like this?
See the speed racing.
Go ahead, man.
Verse 12. For now we see through a glass, darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as also I am known. Y'all get that?
Go ahead.
Verse 13. And now abideth faith, hope, charity. These three, but the greatest of these is charity.
So 14 get into dealing with charity, y'all. So you have to clearly understand that, y'all. So that's where we want our mind. Anything you doing for something on the back end, you wasting your time with charity. You fooling yourself. Because whatever you give away, you got to count on it. It may not come back to you. So whatever you give, you got to be able to give it away.
Because in charity is fulfilling the law, loving thy brethren as thyself. So therefore, you're doing the peace offerings, the commandments, the sacrifices are all being accomplished in you obeying through charity because it expresses love to your fellow brethren.
Right.
Charity is Chief 26.
What it say, bro?
Brotherly love, affection, goodwill, love, benevolence, love feast.
Y'all see that? It's a love feast. Y'all, it's what we have on feast days. It's when we gather, y'all. Ain't no gifts being given out. Ain't nobody been to Jared's. Y'all, they looking at that grill and they watching. Elisha and Ishua throwing down, they can't wait. Teeth is chattering like a crap game, can't wait. I know it's gonna be some good eating here soon. Feasting. That's all the Lord wants us to be concerned with. Gifts will come later. But this right here, the brotherly love where there ain't nothing extra, where ain't nobody looked down on. this is what you can do because everybody's eating the same meal. A rich man's stomach ain't gonna be different from a poor man's stomach. The only difference in the poor man's stomach, he gonna be groaning while he eat because he ain't ate like that in a while. Lord have mercy. Woo, woo, and children dance. And you'll see a grown person dance and wait.
My ribs say, my ribs say, I hate everyone hated you, Zimmer. Everything you eat, you got to explain it. Then the texture is just.
Yeah.
You hate it.
Y'all, so we good with that, y'all. We done with that. Let's hit that Amos 3:3. Y'all, we gonna and just hit a couple open-ended, y'all. We gonna get on out of here, y'all. We in the we right before the 4 o'clock hour, y'all. So anybody, let's take the top 3 of open-ended. Anybody got any questions, heart, or anything on their mind? Open-ended questions. Anybody out there and on the live stream, if they got any questions out there, top 3 open-ended, y'all. And what we're meaning is we're not gonna get into debating about if the earth flat or if this is that or if the moon, if we're on the solar calendar. Y'all, we did that already on the radio, different things. Y'all, we don't want to belabor that anymore. There's classes out there about that. What we're talking about is something that will make you say, okay, I can deal with this right here. This keeps me in the safety zone. And as I pray to the Lord more, he'll reveal more to me. But I'm comfortable right here, right now. You've closed that open door for me enough to give me some homework to go study the rest of the matter out. And I'll bring y'all the answer back. Go ahead, bro. Where we at? Amos 3:3?
Amos chapter
1
3.
through 3?
Yeah, start at 1 on live.
Amos chapter 3, verse 1.
Everybody there?
Don't wait on you, brethren. No child of y'all left behind.
And we'll hit that Ephesians, that Philippians. But that Philippians chapter 2, 1 through 10, y'all. But ain't nobody said nothing yet. Anybody got an open end? What you got? Sis?
Sister and I was talking earlier, and just trying to
Mark that down for me.
You and I talked about already once. I just figured, other people probably didn't know this. We were just talking about if a Gentile husband can teach an Israelite wife the word.
Right. So the question was, and when we read these two, y'all, we're gonna get right to it. Can a Gentile husband teach an Israelite wife? So it's enough scriptures out here, and y'all, actually, we got family members that came down to visit us from a couple places in Texas, from Midland, Texas, and also Dallas. And he rapped with the Sister Thea, along Brother Charles, Sister Becky, and Brother Keith, about this same situation, y'all. And the answer was surprising of what was said. Y'all, now there's a line that you can't cross over because the woman still can't be the head of the household, even if she married to a Gentile. Bathsheba was under the orders of Uriah the Hittite, the Hamite. It was still his wife because that's what the man told her. You can get at her though, cause see, they didn't tell David you can get at her cause see her husband a Hittite. Now David may have got in his mind that he ain't an Israelite and pulled it anyway, but the rules were exactly the same about another man's wife being of another nation.
And not only that, he accepted and was a servant into the household of Israel, and should have been treated as a brother. Gave his life for David. And guess what? The Messiah never forgot about y'all running the lineage of Matthew 1, running Joseph's lineage back, and it said, and Bathsheba, who was the wife of Uriah. He mentioned in the lineage as Bathsheba, who was, but now she's David's wife.
at this point. So it was past tense, but he's not forgotten. So ain't nobody say, well, she was supposed to be with David anyway. She's supposed to be. No, the Messiah didn't say that. He mentioned Uriah for a reason. And that what was done to him about his wife, which happened to be an Israelite. Let's get some more. Where we at? But hope that answered it. But we'll tell him what he said to you. Am I jumping around, y'all?
No.
Okay.
I was got a chance, and I'm thankful to talk to Charles at the feast.
He talking to Brother Charles, who was at the feast,
I
y'all.
was here in class the Saturday, the day before. When I spoke with Becky was like, I try to tell everybody, meeting her people, and she narrowed it down. If you're not looking at it like this, you're not going to get it, period. When I talked to Charles said him and his wife used to bang a little bit because she said, you're the husband, you have to teach me. He said, no, you're the Israelite. You teach me, and I teach other Gentiles. The order is, I run the house. It's the man's household message. But when it comes to this word
about who Israel is.
Now, Charles he's not a brother that just accepted this and say, yeah, I know it's y'all. No, he quoted so many scriptures. I'm saying if he was an Israelite amongst our camp, he'd be a teacher.
Right.
He just didn't accept this and believe it. He broke it off. He broke it off and went all through Paul. And always made the point of when he talks to people that, hey, this is Paul, and who was he talking to at this time?
Right.
So the whole thing is that he accepted, but he still know his place. And then he also told me that with my position in being a servant of you in the kingdom, if I'm a servant of you, if your job is to only serve the Lord and I'm serving you, aren't I serving the Lord?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I said, boy, it just washed over me like a wave.
But see, that's how we get a prophecy fulfilled, a light unto the Gentiles. If we don't have them examples, y'all, what are you going to do about it? You can't be with a group that's running them all. How are you going to ever see if the prophecy is fulfilling itself? See, that's where prophecies are failing, because you will never see that. You will never see the light unto the Gentiles unless you make Israel Gentiles too. Mm. And then if you do that, you can't call them a Gentile no more. How can they be a wild olive branch and they know who they are now? They struggle with that Romans 11. We don't have to struggle. Y'all, but order is order. There's husband, wife, and it goes accordingly. All he's saying is she can't teach me. I can't teach her about herself because she'll be who I want her to be. Mm-hmm. She's telling them who I am, and we have to do this marriage from the perspectives of the laws. But that don't mean you sit at my kneecaps. You tell him the ways of Israelite woman and how there's to be treated and how the lesson should go and how our household should run. But by no means should he fall on kneecaps in front of this woman. You know why? Because you're going to have to deal with Esther. Y'all know what she had to do before that king? Y'all know what she had to do. But nobody seems to want to look at that from that perspective. But if you look at Esther and her permission, she said, I can't do this before this king. I can't do this. I can't do this. And who was instructing her was cousin Mordecai. A lot of people think it's an uncle. It was just a big cousin. He was about as old as her parents was. He took on and raised her, but he gave her that information. And the king, and she was dealing with, king, I know who you are and this and that, but my people, this is what he said, what about your people? And she run it down to him and she said, this wicked one right here want to kill my people. Right. He said, you gonna kill your people today? What you got to say?
So Mordecai instructed her only under a certain circumstance, right? Or was it that he was instructing her throughout
throughout, like, don't show your kindred yet. We don't want you guilt by association. We don't want that into play. Wait a minute and do it like this.
She married the king.
Well, before too, she knew she was being chosen. He was always there. He was a guardian.
Right. But I guess I'm asking because the king was her husband. Mm-hmm. He was still teaching her.
Not against her husband.
Okay.
how to instruct her husband about the saving of the nation of Israel. He never put her at odds with him. That's why he told her, don't tell him your kindred yet. Let him love you for who you are, for your spirit. Because he's going to have some disdain for you if he find out you're a Hebrew woman. He may think about you like the other slaves. You know, so he wants her to keep her focus on what's the mission at hand. And the mission is not to trick him. There wasn't no trickery involved with it. Let him know what's being planned.
Because see, his love had exceeded beyond just, you know, her being an Israelite at that point, because his love was so for her that he just wanted to satisfy her.
Yeah,
he was loving her. So it wasn't about, you know, so when she broke down the information as to what was going on, he's like, no, this ain't gonna happen to you because you caught up in that number. You're amongst that number, and if God forbid it, you should be taken away from me. Right. I love you so much. Right. So that was the order that he had she had to first gain his love and his trust, the commitment to her as a husband. Right. And then under that guidance that Malachi was able to instruct her on how to uphold the law under his roof, but with natural order. That's right. Right.
And he wasn't in the understanding. He wasn't in the truth. He wasn't in.
But it wasn't.
He was in the truth of his kingdom.
Of his kingdom. Okay. But after all these things had transpired, and he saw the work of the Most High God, then you know it's just like when Darius came over and said, "I believe now because I see the work of your God." Right. Y'all God is powerful, greater than the gods we worship. You know, so within that, in him gaining the love for his wife. And then also just granting pardon on her people because of his love for her and his commitment to her. There also had to be a belief in Christ that this is true, you know, through prophecy.
Right. And what the deal was, she wasn't charged as guilt by association. See, he said, don't show your kindred. Right. So don't tell them yet. Let them love you from just your spirit. And you love them from a pure heart. And then she revealed, I'm an Israelite. And then what? But all of the bad stuff he had been hearing about Israelites went off the table. He like, no, not my Israelite baby.
Right. You ain't like that.
You ain't like that. So who did this? Haman. And he was so crazy, he jumped on the bed. No.
You finna write
and he like, you is crazy.
I'm standing right here and you're gonna jump on my wife, man.
So this is what we're talking about. A lot of times you just can't go flaunting I'm an Israelite around everybody else. What is that gonna prove? And your covenant keeping is on the line. Right. They really watching now.
And not only that, because we have so many foul doctrines by Israelites out there in the world, right? You have to be very careful because the first thing to give to you by association, the first thing they want is to look you up with Ben-Ami, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, and all these alphabet camps. That's not the teaching that we teach. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's best to let people see your walk in your faith. Then they ask questions concerning your belief system. And then it shows that when you unlike those crazy ones I watch videos of, you don't act like that.
Right.
You know, because most of them preach and teach a black nationalist doctrine. That no one can be saved but Israel. They don't even understand that salvation is being able to breathe again for a Gentile nation.
So I guess I'm just to sum it up. If it's okay for her to seek knowledge from another Israelite man if she's married to a Gentile.
No.
That's what I'm trying to
do. No, I'm glad just say it like that. No, those rules are rules. The rules are rules. Now he can go not to teach him about his wife, but he can seek other Israelite men out for instructions how to deal with an Israelite woman. Bro, so what's the deal? Like Uriah the Hittite, he knew the rules of how to deal with Bathsheba under the rules of Israelite. But he ain't got to be, they can't lead him and his wife. I mean, they can't teach him how to make love to her. Now, see, you can't be doing them rabbit licks. See, Israelite women don't like them rabbit licks. And they don't like that food like this. You're going to have to cut that out. See, it can't be that because then they're the rulers of the household.
That's what I was trying to say.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Where we at?
That's Elijah.
Amos 3. What?
Amos
Amos
3.
chapter 3, verse 1. All right. Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth.
That's right.
Therefore, I will punish you for all of your iniquities. Can two walk together except they be agreed? Will a lion roar in the forest when he hath no prey? Will a young lion cry out of his den if he have taken nothing?
Right.
Can a bird fall in a snare upon the earth where no gin is fallen? Shall one take up a snare from the earth and having taken nothing at all? Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city and the Most High have not done it? Surely the Most High Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets.
Right.
The lion hath roared, who will not fear? The Lord Yahweh hath spoken, who can but prophesy? Published in the palaces of Ashdod, and in the palaces in the land of Egypt, and say, assemble yourselves upon the mountains of Samaria, and behold the great tumults in the midst thereof, and the oppressed in the midst thereof.
You can hold that, Elijah. So, y'all, we just wanted to get to the point of two walk together unless they agree. Y'all have to agree. There have to be agreement in the household. You know, there have to be some agreement for you to walk together. If you're at odds, you're walking in different locations.
And if you notice, he said, can two walk together? He's referring to the marriage between Christ and the
church.
The body, the church. Also, man and woman. There's going to be conflict. You know, if one is seeking one thing, one is seeking the kingdom or salvation, and the other is seeking damnation. It's going to be conflict.
Yeah, bro.
Now, if she's won over by your conversation or he's won over by the just conversation, so be it. Then you have to show your walk. It's long suffering. That's what is the ultimate relationship, the commitment. Man and woman, Christ and the church. Long suffering. Man.
Okay, bro.
You ask any man that's been married to a woman after beyond 5 years if he was seeking another, he tell you hell no. I will. My first 5 years was rough, bro. I'm 24 years in now. But over that time, the commitment became so great towards my rib. You know, we finish each other's sentences, all kind of things. I know what she wants. I know what she, you know, I know all these things.
You're starting to look alike, boy.
You ain't lying. Watch yourself. You ain't lying. No, but that happens. That happens. You know, that happens because people see my children and say, man, they look just like you.
Until they see her, and then they look just like her.
Just like her. You know, and that happens with all of us. You know, but that marriage between the man and the woman is the ultimate commitment and relationship, the ultimate bond that shouldn't be broken, because Christ said in the beginning was not so for you to put them away.
Right.
So, you know, with that it comes patience.
That's right.
Suffering and everything.
That's right.
Because you weren't born with that real. So her upbringing may be completely different from yours.
Right.
And you have to take that into consideration.
Absolutely.
I was married to a woman whose father was nowhere in her life. Nowhere. Nonetheless, not being in the script at that time, I knew I had to seek out her father to get his blessing before I took his daughter. Even though she didn't have a relationship with him, I said, I can't marry you without him knowing who took his daughter.
I can't leapfrog the rules.
I can't do it.
Let me ask a question then, because I didn't know her father, but I asked her mother. But that's all I knew.
Was her father alive? Or I mean, I understand if you can't get to him, it's
Right,
next
that's
in
what I'm
line.
saying.
But long as somebody know.
Yeah, I asked her mother. Yeah, and then it's public. You know, you know,
show back up. We's married.
Yeah.
but it has to be a public announcement made. You know, there has to be. You know, because now you're dealing with the family tree, especially if you have offspring.
Right.
They have to understand what branches they come from.
Right.
Back in the day when I came up, everybody I don't mean to get off.
Go ahead, bro.
Man, but I'm just trying to make these points.
Make them.
Because when we came up, it was customary that an elder would ask you when they met a child, who's your mama, who's your daddy?
Right.
I want to know what stock you come out of.
Right. What's your pedigree?
Because then they could gauge by who your parents were or grandparents, what type of child you are, what kind of upbringing you got.
Hold on, Billy Jenkins, the bank robber. That's your father.
Right. And then they tell you, I don't want to see you hanging with that little. And he ain't done nothing, but I know his offspring.
Right.
I know what he's capable of.
It's in his blood.
I know what kind of doctrine he comes from.
Right.
So watch. Be careful. I don't want him over here.
Not accusing him.
Not accusing him, but you watching out for the safety of your household. Bringing that sin into your house. Bringing the reflection of that sin into your house and corrupting your seed.
Right.
He was saying Elijah, like in the book of Tobit, when the old man was checking out the pedigree, he said, "Go ahead and find somebody to walk."
Yeah.
He said, "Father, I found somebody." He said, "Who's your
He said, "No, I want to."
You mentioned two prominent people. Well, oh, they don't.
He said, "Oh, he comes from a good stock."
Boy, we ain't got nothing to worry about.
He good. I know where he comes from. He come out of a good stock. It's all good.
So if you go rogue, it ain't him, it's you.
Right.
So y'all, and all of these things, y'all, are life things, y'all, because it's a living book, and you have to have the examples of life. So not only when you quote them, there has to be a living example of it happening in your life for it to work, because you have to walk what you read. You have to walk what you're preaching. And there ain't no situation that can come up in life today that can't be found in these scriptures. None. There ain't anybody say, well, you ain't walked in my shoes. Somebody have. Let's start at Genesis 1:1 and see if we can find them shoes you got on. Mm-hmm. Them shoes can already be worn. You're wearing used shoes. Where we at?
Let me read this.
What you got?
The Apocalypse of Shadrach, chapter 1, is second witness to that. 1 Corinthians 13.
What it say, bro?
Beloved, we must prefer nothing more than unfeigned love. We commit many faults every hour, day and night.
Every hour, day and night. That's trouble for us, ain't it? Yeah, but see, they use the word faults, not sins. So we always slipping, y'all, and need a hand up. Go ahead, bro.
And for this reason, let us acquire love, because it covers a multitude of sins.
Oh.
What do we gain, my children, if we possess everything, yet do not have saving love?
Right.
How does one benefit, my children, if one gives a great banquet and invites king and noblemen and prepares every sort of expensive fare in order that nothing should be missing? Nevertheless, if there is no salt, that banquet cannot be eaten. And one not only bears the expense, but one also wastes his efforts and is disgraced by the guest. It is the same in our situation, my brothers. What will we profit, for what grace do we possess without love? Our every deed is false. Even if one has virginity and fasts and keeps vigil, and prepares and gives banquet for the poor, and if one brings gifts to Yahweh, or offers the first fruits of all his goods, or builds churches, or does anything else without love, it shall be counted by Yahweh as nothing.
As what?
As nothing. For these things are not acceptable. Thus the prophet says, The sacrifice of the impious is an abomination to the Lord. Do not be advised to do anything without love. If you say, I hate you, for how can one who does not love his brother, whom he has seen, love Yahweh, whom he has not seen? It is clear that anyone that hates his brother, but thinks that he loves Christ, is a liar.
Is a what?
Is a liar, and is deluding himself.
In doing what?
Deluding himself.
He's in denial. D-E-N-I-A-L. Don't even know I am lying. Denial. Delusion. In denial. What's that, boy? You finished reading? Now you got some more.
Apocalypse and Cedrac, chapter
Apocalypse.
1.
Okay.
For John the theologian says that we have this commandment from Yahweh, that he who loves Yahweh should also love his brother, and gain the Lord himself. And again, the Lord himself says, upon these two commandments depend all the law and the prophets.
See, and that's the same thing too. What are the greatest commandments?
Shout out to Hosea.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, he's a master study of them scripts right there. He loves that book. But you see how it compares to the scripture. What's the greatest two commandments? Love the Lord all thy heart and soul, love thy neighbor as thyself. The first 5 of the 10 commandments is how to love the Lord. The next down teaches you how to love your neighbor.
I hit that real quick, that Matthew 5 and 46.
Yeah.
46,
yeah.
Which is 46.
Matthew 5:46, yeah.
47, 46, 47, and 48.
Y'all got a couple more scripts, y'all. We're gonna get on out of here, y'all. Did anybody have any other thing on their mind before we get out of here? We want to at least do another. No, not yet.
We had 28.
98?
That's what it is.
Okay.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 46 through 48.
Y'all, we got long. Just these last couple scripts, y'all. We're gonna get on out of here. So y'all always trying to establish, y'all, is we got to live together with each other for 1,000 years. That's starting out. I mean, I don't know how, no other way to do it. 1,000 years, you start out like that. Can't get past a weekend. Ain't no need you getting in that line. For what? Why would you get in the line? If you can't do 2 days a weekend, you know what day 3 gonna be like. So you got 999, 362 days left to go, and you already arguing? I don't care about you marked off 40 years in the penitentiary on the wall. You ain't gonna mark off 900 and that many years. And talking about I did that standing on my head. No. Not with this yank. Who got something? What you got, like?
Okay, this is Matthew.
Matthew, go on, hit that, bro.
Matthew 5, verse 46.
What it say?
For if ye love them which love you,
right,
what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? And if ye salute your brethren only, what be ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So it says, you know, extend that love beyond just what's right here in your face.
Yes, sir.
You know, once we rehearse this love thing and everything, it becomes second nature, man.
Right.
You know, to love your brethren.
And look, a well man don't need a doctor. Why we keep rehearsing laws with each other? It's time out. We know the law. Now let's live it.
Live it.
See, we ain't got to keep rehearsing. See, once you keep slamming it back, it's just, you got to have a point where you get to see it work. It has to manifest. You have to see it working. Go ahead, bro.
So we supposed to love the heathen beast.
The who?
No.
Beast.
I ain't hear you, I'm sorry.
Heathen beast.
Heathen beast?
Heathen is supposed to love the
No. It ain't talking about loving the heathen. Those that don't love the Most High God, because they ain't gonna extend no love to you or your baby.
Right.
It's loving your brethren who seeking salvation the same as you.
That's right.
Because they're not gonna put any harm or put you in harm's way. You are your offspring.
Right.
It's not gonna happen. It won't come into that mindset and that consciousness. Righteousness and unrighteousness cannot dwell in the same body.
That's right.
A house divided cannot stand. The body of Christ is divided against itself. It can't stand. If there's those in here who has hatred and maliciousness in their heart towards the other brethren, guess what? It revealed itself at some point, and it's going to reveal itself at the point of where we're supposed to establish the most peace amongst each other, which is in our feast days. It's going to rear its ugly head. So we have to cast that out of us. That's that leaven that leavens the whole lump. We got to get rid of that evil.
Right. And what we want you to understand when you say heathen beast is the skin black first.
Right.
See, because look, we're warned against the Canaanite, all in black. Ain't no laws for no other nations like that. Don't do as the Canaanites. Abraham, don't marry nobody from Canaan. Don't do this. Don't deal with them Canaanites. They're going to be rooted out of the land. So if you look past black first and you start looking at other colors first, you'd have missed the whole picture anyway.
Because the first destroyer or the first one who committed murder was black.
No.
The first liar was black.
Who sold out the Messiah?
Black.
black people.
See,
you know,
this,
when the Muslims say the white man is a blue-eyed devil, well, if the Most High's angels are all black men, what was Satan?
no.
What was Lucifer?
Ouch.
So you telling me one angel is a white boy and all the other ones are black? No, it don't happen like that.
Right.
Let's be truthful.
Yeah.
Let's not have respect to persons. It is what it is. Okay? So let's get out of the mindset of color. Because
Have no respect for sin.
Right. Say that loud.
Have no respect for sin.
No respect to sin, no matter what color is, because
Thomas will sell us out quick. Sell us out quick. He got affirmative action to become a judge. Now he said it's no good for Negro.
So he got his, but don't want you to get yours. But all we're telling you is like Judas Iscariot was given gifts and he turned on the Messiah. And the Messiah say it had been better that he not been born. Can you point that out with any other nation kind of like that from that perspective that just looks at an individual and say, your daddy wastes his time bringing you into this world, so to speak. Your conception by your daddy would have been better running down his leg. Hate to be so blunt, but it's the only way to understand it. When he deals with spirit, he don't deal with flesh of men. He said, I'm put you in captivity with every color on the planet. Which one did you worse? Which ones are a set of laws that say, don't ever be like this people?
Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers.
That's right. So y'all, we're not saying that trying to champion for anybody else, but the Lord don't look at people like we do. We look at skin color. We look at things like that. We look at the outer cup, and that tries to make you, and you try to make your case from there. You dealing the wrong way with the Lord. Now, does he have people of color set up to rule the kingdom? But their spirit is going to outshine their color anyway. Even though we Israel, he still ain't going to see the color of us. He going to see the spirit of us dwelling in truth and righteousness. He's not going to be looking at, come here, my black servant. Abraham, my black servant. Give me something. What's up, my black servant? It ain't going to be none of that.
No.
Most High ain't concerned with the outer cup of man.
Oh, he wouldn't have told Cornelius, you got more faith than all my own people.
That's right.
Your faith exceeds that of my own people.
Y'all, we're gonna get on out here. One more of y'all. Who else got something out there? Or did you want to hit that Leviticus 11, bro?
We'll do a
Whole class on the law.
Yeah.
Anybody got anyone before we get out? Anybody online saying anything? They got an open-end question. I want to hit the We'll talk about that off camera. Go ahead, hold on, bro. I got a question over here. Hold it down, y'all. Hold it down, y'all. Hold it down, y'all. Can y'all listen up? Hold on. Go ahead, bro.
What do the scriptures say about cremation?
Well, it says we should bury our dead. They should return from what they came. We got a lot of problem in Israel right now with poverty. Average funeral is $6,000 to $10,000.
That's the reason why.
See, you're gonna continue to get GoFundMe pages, and that means they sitting on ice. So now do you get beside another law that said you need to get them in the ground before sundown and certain things? So we're dealing with that as economics, but the final cremation is the lake of fire.
Right.
That's cremation. But by right, if you can get them in the ground, you should get them in the ground. But this is why it's so important when we're talking about these things that you have some form of insurance, even if it just covers that and you don't get nothing else out of the money. At least we can get them in the ground, but these things come up on you when they dead. We ain't got nothing to put them away with. Now, you can go another route, and there's something called a potter's field. Every nation got it, every county got it, every city got it. You're buried in an unmarked grave. Now, who want that for their people? You know, and it's a lot of things, but I'm just telling you from the beginning, everybody was buried. And it used to be the same day. Now, we didn't start embalming until we got into Egypt. Joseph was embalmed, Jacob was embalmed, Abraham wasn't embalmed from what I'm reading, but these men were embalmed to preserve them just a little bit longer because they march. When you get into the 54th and 56th chapter of the book of Jasher about Jacob's funeral, there ain't never been a funeral on here on earth like this. I'm talking about people were marching. I'm talking about whole nations behind the funeral procession. And then they buried him in the cave of his father, Abraham, because the insurance policy was already paid for all of my children to be buried right here. And guess how old that document was? 430-year-old document. Naphtali had to go back and get it. They left it in Egypt because the Hamites, the new Hamites, didn't know about it. And Esau's sons was claiming it. He said, go back and get the document. Naphtali took off running. Y'all talking about the flash. That was Naphtali. That's where they getting that from.
Back in 5 minutes with the records.
Running top speed. They say could run across corn stalks.
Without breaking a blade of grass.
Gone. Go get that document. And was back before the argument started. Get into the testament of the 12 patriarchs and look up Naphtali. The speed of Naphtali. Brought that document back, a 400-year document, and presented to them. They say, that's Abraham's mark. Put them on in the cave. 400-year-old document. And Abraham talked about it in this same Sirach, chapter 42. Let everything be done in writing. You won't have a problem with that.
Contract.
You understand?
You're bound by the contract. That's why the courts uphold writing. They say, do you have a contract? Was it written down?
Or two witnesses.
Or two witnesses.
Oral contract.
Oral.
Sign your name right here. What you
got
say?
2 or more witnesses.
Right. I saw
nothing is
them.
done outside of the laws of the Most High.
That's right.
They still adhere to these laws. This government is set up based on these laws.
Yeah.
Now it goes wrong.
But they set up.
But they set up off of this law and said, in God we trust. Now, their God they trust is Mammon now. But in the beginning, they set this all up based on this contract.
Now think about that. Which one of y'all gonna give that God up? In God we trust. I mean, throw it away. I don't want this God in my pocket. Getting rid of this old God of money. Do it.
I'll be on the receiving end.
So, y'all, you have to deal with certain things, and y'all, the dollar bill is loaded with satanic symbols, front and back. But like Ecclesiastic 10 and 9 just tell you, money is a defense, y'all. That's all it is a defense from getting your lights cut off, a defense from the mule thieves picking up your car. You in the movies with your gal and they out there in your car on the tow truck. You laugh and boy, that was good. Wait a minute, where we park at? Now, why you walking over to the Walgreens looking in their parking lot? You know you didn't park there. You're wasting your time walking over there. What do you think you was on that you forgot you parked in the Walgreens park and you walked to the movie theater? That spot gone. It's gonna click in. The mule thieves done got me. Damn, they was tracking me. Money is a defense. Y'all, that's how we all should look at it. Certain things are there, like he told the disciple. He said, Caesar want us to pay taxes. He said, who face on the money? They say Caesar. Give Caesar what he want to do. He say, what y'all do for a living? They say, we fishermen. Go catch some fish and you'll see some money in his mouth.
Go to work.
Go to work, and they upped it, and they got the coins out of the fish mouth with Caesar inscription on, and paid their taxes and kept it moving to the kingdom work. Ain't got time to be messing around with this foolishness. If you're gonna play right across the board and you're gonna deal with idolatry, you got to be able to explain how you're using money with satanic symbols on it. Satanic symbols on it. Satanic symbols on it.
You want to say Santa Claus?
Right. Huh? It's a what? You got a lot of people that use it, but then you got to get to the point that the Most High created the lake of fire for his angel, which is cremation. It's burning them up in torment. So you have to understand, where did they get the idea from? There's a righteous side to it, and then there's a wicked side to it. So you have to always see, because Satan doesn't have his own imagination. He copied from some, and what he saw was what his end was is total cremation. So then they bring that practice into us. Like, we didn't embalm you. You got buried the same day. So you wasn't no waiting on relatives to come from out of town. When you get to town, he been buried for a week. You just hearing about it. What? Now what happened? Yeah, that happened. And y'all buried him. If you were hanging on a cross, they couldn't be out going into the next day. You had to get them in the ground.
Yeah, you had to take them down. They couldn't stay up there past sundown.
You couldn't wait for your family members to get here. Now, if we're going to play hard, we got to go all the way back with it. Because the embalming started in Egypt, not in Jerusalem. Right. Not Adam was buried back, and then it say he was buried in a cave. Mm-hmm. So is that like a mausoleum, or was he actually put back in the ground? It says he was buried in a cave. Abraham was buried in a cave, or what you call a mausoleum. The Messiah was buried in a mausoleum. So if we said you got to go back to the dirt, like what it said, it says your body turns back to dust. Cremation is still dust. Yeah. Because you get it still in here, your ashes are there.
Yeah. And so the Most High can resurrect that body, fashion that body back from that dust, because he's the all great. He's the creator of all. So with that, but however, the practice wasn't something that we practiced.
Right.
That wasn't our practice.
Just like embalming.
But nowadays, so we have them both now at our choice. However, the Most High said what he's going to do.
And right, so
you're going to have to stand right. No matter how much you've been burned.
You going back to dust.
You standing for judgment.
Right. So what we want to express is that, y'all, look, these things come up. So these questions won't catch you short. That means get prepared, because life ain't promised. Death is promised to us. Mm-hmm. You're going to die if the Messiah don't come back. So we have to get prepared for death. And if that means you can go on the low end of a burial plot, look, you got to deal with the funeral, and then you got to pay for a burial plot. So now you got mobile stacking up. The average funeral is $6,000 to $10,000, and that's basic.
Yep.
And right now, 10,000 may as well be 10 million to some of us because it's the same distance in trying to get it in a time that you need to get them buried. So yeah, bro, we understand it though. These things happen. They're a part of it. But what you got to understand, he's going back to dust, whether you burn him up or however you do it. We just try to keep consistently with the scripture. But we got men that are buried in what's called mausoleums. What you got, like at that one place on Bell Fountain, they got the ground and they got that one building where they slide that thing out, put your body, slide it and seal it and put your name on there. That's the same as the way Abraham was buried in a cave. Jacob and all of them are buried in the same cave, and some are buried in the ground. The Messiah was buried in a cave, in a mausoleum, not in the earth, even though it said in the earth 3 days and 3 nights, but it wasn't really underground. And what Lazarus come out of? Did Lazarus kick dust out? Did he dig out of dirt like a mole?
He came out of the mausoleum.
Digging dirt out his head.
Now down in Louisiana, they have the pauper's grave, and then they have mausoleums. People with money are buried in mausoleums.
Right.
People who don't have money are buried in the pauper's grave.
Right.
And so Louisiana being a state underwater, under sea level, it's not, it's common to see your loved ones or casket float down the street.
Yeah.
Now my close friend Robert, all his
Okay.
family are buried in the pauper's grave.
Right.
Some of the greatest jazz musicians are buried in this pauper's grave.
Right.
Because they died with no money, and so they were
Potter's Field.
Potter's Field.
It's called a Potter's Field. That's what Judas Iscariot was buried. Right. In a Potter's Field. No, and they took the money back and say, we just donate this to the Potter's Field. Right. The field of blood. So y'all have to understand, y'all, the bottom line is they dead. When you get through talking, they dead, and the resurrection is waiting on them. So they don't know if they being cremated or not. They just hope they don't get that second cremation. Right. That's going to be the problem. Right. That second cremation. Because this one, you don't know you being burned up. That one you going to know for certain because you're going to be living in it. It's going to be stinging. It's going to be like the water hot before you turn on cold, and that hot water hits you in the small of your back in the shower and you run to the other end. Who flushed the toilet? So y'all, we ain't gonna hold on no longer, y'all. We done, boy.
Ashes to ashes and dust to dust.
Yeah.
Not chapter and verse.
Yeah.
So don't get it twisted and let somebody tell you that what the Bible says ashes to ashes, so it's okay. No, that script is not out.
Closing out, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna close on out, y'all. So anybody got any more questions before we close out? Yeah, we wanted to hit a few more, but nobody seemed to have a lot of open-ended questions, y'all. But we did get some good topics understood. Didn't get that to that Philippians 2, 1 through 10. Y'all put that down and y'all study that as the closing out of what we're talking about, because it's going to deal directly with the Messiah, this brotherly love. Philippians 2, 1 through 10, y'all. So y'all, we need to do that. Take that home with you.
And also write that Ecclesiasticus 4 that brother had brought with, to go with that about charity with the Ecclesiasticus 35, because it's a great link, line upon line and precept upon precept for that, to understand what true charity is.
You ain't turned that camera off yet, have you? Oh, okay, give me that Bible right there, y'all, because every feast day, y'all can understand it. You come out there with your script. People leaving their scripts behind every feast day. We try to collect them, y'all. But if you ain't seen your sword yet, it's a problem. You ain't got your weapon. Now, this one, I don't know if it's still to this person, but this one is Tiffany's, and Lee Gammon gave it to her. So if you left this out at the Feast of Pentecost, it's going to be down here. This one we done had down here left for a couple months now. Don't know who this one is. Ain't got no name, ain't got no writing in it. But y'all need to check unless y'all got another sword. Y'all missing sword is down here, y'all. We hanging on to them. But y'all gonna have to pay attention to what you come with, or you've been feasting too much.
You just leaving your sword and don't have a clue that you left.
Right, and y'all, look, it was an accessory piece like a Gucci bag. You can't treat this like it's one of those things.
And then you're not looking for it. You're not concerned about it.
Right. So y'all, we're gonna close on that. We ain't gonna belabor it, y'all. Let's get on out of here. And y'all, let's live this word. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Let's live this word. Now we ain't yet after we pray.
Let's love each other in truth and deed.
Yes, sir.
We all good?
And Sarah, I still got your script at the crib.
If you listen.
We'll close this out with the Most High's permission. In the name of all you guys are signing. I will shout the Spirit in the book of Psalms with the 98th chapter. And it reads as follows. Oh, sing unto the Most High a new song, for he hath done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm hath gotten him the victory. The Most High hath made known his salvation. His righteousness hath he openly shown in the sight of the heathen. He hath remembered his mercy and his truth toward the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our Elohim. Make a joyful noise unto the Most High, all the earth. Make a loud noise and rejoice and sing praise. Sing unto the Most High with the harp and the voice of a song. With trumpets and sound of cornets, make a joyful noise before Yahweh, the King. Let the sea roar, and let the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. Let the floods clap their hands. Let the hills be joyful together before the Most High, for he cometh to judge the earth. With righteousness shall he judge the world, and the people with equity. Hallelujah!
Say it loud. Yeah, it was a little late. You didn't give us that delayed in there. That delay. But if y'all got a shekel or two, y'all, we greatly appreciate it. Please clean up after yourself.